All right, welcome back to The Strange IMNerd podcast. I'm your host, Frazier.
It's strange.
And I'm here with my amazing and strange co-host. Very strange, actually. Like
why
weirdly
do I gotta be
strange.
very strange?
So strange that some of you wouldn't even understand how strange my co-host is. Kenny.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're not nearly as strange as I am.
No, I'm perfectly normal.
No.
Perfectly normal. I just shadoried you on our first spot in the woods, shadori to the chest the first time we ever met. Like, just constant rants and nonsense. But we're here to talk about the new season of Stranger Things, the final season, actually, season 5, which I have so much to say.
1.
Yes. Part 1. Let's be clear. The first 4 episodes, because for whatever reason, Netflix decided they were going to break this into 3 parts and try to completely take over every major holiday at the end of the year. Thanksgiving is when part 1 came out. Then part 2 is coming out on Christmas. And then part 3 is coming out on New Year's. This is a dangerous game they're playing. They're playing a very, very dangerous game, in my opinion. How do you feel about it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it, but they're winning. So
they are winning, unfortunately. The reason
I don't like it, I think it's just like, I don't know, because on one end, you could be a corporate shill. And you'd be like, no, guys, listen, this is what they're doing. They want to give families at home something to do together on the holidays.
The family fucked my husband.
All the families are going to, like, you're going to get together with your dad and your mom, and you're going to watch Stranger Things on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and it's going to be around, you're going to eat ham around the table, and they're doing it for you because they love you and your family. The other part of it is just like weird endgame capitalism, corporate greed thing where it's just like, I don't know, they just want to monopolize everybody's time and be like, I've got you even on Christmas, bitch.
The reason why I think this is such a dangerous game is because when I go to like Thanksgiving or Christmas stuff or New Year stuff, TV, especially a scripted show, is never on.
Yeah.
Like there's never like, I've never gone somewhere and been like, let's watch Game of Thrones as a fucking party. Like a group of 10 people.
What? People do that.
Okay. So I guess it's just a thing that we don't do.
No, but you remember, I know you've seen them where it'll be like a bar, like a whole bar of people, and like somebody's recording the bar of people watching Game of Thrones, reacting to the newest episode.
Yeah, I guess that is a thing.
That has to be the worst fucking way to... cheering, like you're watching a scripted show with story and narrative and plot points being set up, and like there's people cheering and applaud. Like I'm trying to listen to this show and there's cheering.
Yeah. Spoilers for Game of Thrones, but I remember seeing one of those clips of people in a bar watching, and then Jon Snow got resurrected, and they all erupted.
I can't do it.
So
I could not. That sounds like the worst way to watch television.
I forgot that people do congregate to watch scripted shows. That's to me, outside of like a watch party. A watch party is not what I'm talking about, because a watch party and Thanksgiving are not the same.
We're watching things with your friends. You and me have done that. You know, we'll watch things together.
All
we'll
the
watch
time.
Episodes of Game of Thrones, but it's different because we're not talking to each other while we're watching it.
No, we're not.
Like,
also,
maybe every now and then, but like just to say like a couple things here and there, but we're not cheering.
Also, it's Thanksgiving. We're together to like be in each other's company and to eat good food. And at least that's how my Thanksgivings have gone. They have not been... My family on Thanksgiving, we do not turn on the TV and everyone focuses on what's on the TV on Thanksgiving. That has never been a thing in any Thanksgiving. And I've had Thanksgiving with friends. I've had Thanksgiving with you, with my mom, my dad's side, my mom's side. I've had Thanksgiving with like coworkers. Literally, I've been invited to coworkers thing. I've had Thanksgiving with so many different people, and I've never once, ever... I had Thanksgiving with Silverman too. Jewish Thanksgiving, very interesting. But I've never once had Thanksgiving be a TV's on and everyone is actually focused on some scripted content on a TV. That's never been a thing at Thanksgiving. So they're
also competing with football, right?
Yes.
Thanksgiving football is a really big thing.
It is.
All the football heads are watching that.
And that is not scripted.
I mean, it's they're competing with a lot of things. But apparently, you know, it's working because I know I saw the numbers and like I don't know, it's like how everything is now.
Yeah, I think it's a lie, Kenny. I don't think it's real.
Every time something comes out, it's like, this is the biggest show that was ever made in the history of man.
I don't believe it
Michael
anymore.
Jackson wishes he was this show.
I don't believe that, like, some of these metrics that they put out, it'll be like Taylor Swift album in the first day of release destroys Thriller's entire like lifetime that it's ever been out since the 80s. So I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, can we not compare? I know this is a complete rant and tangent. We're going to get back to Stranger Things soon. But, like, I don't like comparing an era where you had to buy albums physically and comparing it to, like, 2025 where you just fucking open up your phone and you just start playing the album on repeat until you fall asleep. And then some people are so ridiculous that they're such fans of the artist that they play the albums on mute while they're asleep just to make the streams go higher. And then they're streaming farms, which is a whole different thing, right? That like the Drake and Kendrick beef, that came out in the open, which people already kind of knew it existed, but a lot of people didn't. And so it became mainstream that like, oh, streaming farms exist, places that are literally set up like data centers that just have tons of devices that are streaming albums to make albums look bigger than they actually are. I just don't like the Stranger Things breaks the record for number one show ever viewed in history, beats Game of Thrones, beats Breaking Bad, beats The Sopranos, beats Seinfeld, beats everything in the first 72 hours of release. Like, I hate those headlines. I genuinely think that they are cap. They're not real. I think that they just say that to hype everything up, because every new movie that comes out is, critics say it's the best thing since the original Halloween. And just, it's always the best.
Just like nonsense. It's always the best, greatest thing that has ever been made. But anyway, that's like all that bullshit. Yeah. That being said, this season of Stranger Things was good.
Oh, yes. The first 4 episodes were really good to me. Like, really good.
When I say this season, I'm talking. Yeah, exactly. This was good. I'm gonna just keep referring to it as this season. Every now and then I'll say part 1, but yeah, I don't imagine part 2 and part 3 are going to be bad. I imagine it's going to end pretty well. It seems like they're setting up for some stuff. It seems like they've kind of, by the time they got to season 4, I feel as though, and maybe even sooner, maybe they kind of knew in season 3 or whatever, but season 3. I was very down on. I was not looking forward to season 4 because I was very down on season 3. So, but by the time they got to season 4 and we did a podcast on it, me and Frazier had very high praises for season 4. I feel like they finally really figured out everything they're doing. They tied things together. They had plot points that were probably lingering in the wind, and they didn't really know what they were doing when they wrote those points. But I think very strategically and dare I say expertly, they started tying them back together into season 4. Even more of those plot points get revealed here in season 5. They're doing a good job. I think, so far this season seems pretty good. I don't imagine it's going to end badly. So yeah, seems good.
So I want to start off the right way. So let's kind of talk a little bit about what happened at the end of season 4 and then start at what happens at the beginning of season 5, which I do think is a bit of a whiplash moment. So the end of season 4,
I definitely had a gripe about that.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. And I know, because we're best friends. So like, the reason why is because we agree on so many things. We see things so similarly. That's just who we are as people. The end of season 4, which we praise season 4 as a whole. Season 4 is actually the best season prior to season 5. Season 4, and I don't know where season 5 is going to end up in my ranking of the seasons.
Right now I still have season 4 above season 5.
Right, but that's because it's not concluded yet.
Season 5's not done yet. We'll see what happens. But
right.
I'm going to be honest though. Now, granted, I do think Stranger Things is going to end in a good. I think people are going to be satisfied with the ending, myself included. Yeah. I do not think I'm going to be disappointed with the ending. I'm now like high hopes on it.
Same.
Where season 3, I was riding low. Season 5 right now, I'm riding high. That said, regardless, I think it's going to be hard for it to be better than season 4. Because I feel like all of the good that will come from season 5 is going to be thanks to season 4. Season 4 like set this up to be what it is. I don't know. I'm super high on season 4.
Yeah, no, I'm super high on season 4 too. It is currently still my favorite season of the show. But again, it's a little weird to do the comparison immediately just because
it's not done yet.
It's not done. Even though, funnily enough, the episodes are so fucking long, it's probably the same amount of runtime with just part 1 of season 5 to the whole of season 4, because the episodes
are long.
They're like an hour and a half. I think one of them might have been close to 2 hours. The final episode, like season 5, episode 4 was like 1:43.
Yeah, I think episode 1 was like close to 2 hours. And then I think episode 2 and 3 were around 1 hour. And then I think episode 4 was like an hour and a half or something like that.
Yeah, I actually have the runtimes here. So real quick, chapter 1, The Crawl, an hour and 8 minutes. The next episode, 54 minutes. The next episode, an hour and 3 minutes. The next episode, an hour and 23 minutes. And then
I don't know why I could have swore I thought it was I was wrong.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll say this. I'm looking at this. I Googled it, and the first thing that came up was the AI overview. Unfortunately, AI overviews are not to be necessarily trusted, but I'm scrolling a little bit and I'm seeing like some consistencies there. So yeah, let's just say that those are the runtimes. Every episode is basically over an hour, the last one being the longest, and they feel extremely long as well, because I don't think episodes in the previous seasons in general were this long. I think that a lot of them were like 40-ish minutes and that type of thing. But we ended off season 4, which amazing season because of Vecna. To me, that was the main thing that I said in the podcast years ago about why I think Stranger Things is now one of the best shows I've seen, as opposed to being, it was starting to go down real bad. I won't even say where it was going for me because like it's no point in now that it's picked up, but it's now one of the better shows that I've seen because of just introducing Vecna, giving him some real backstory, making a lot of things, like you said, they tie things together expertly. And I agree 100%. The massacre at Hawkins' lab, that episode is like outrageously good. Vecna's backstory with him and like the spider and his killing his family and like just being a little psycho, and then him getting banished to the Upside Down apparently by Elle, and the whole, it's just a lot. Season 4 did so much for it.
The episode that put Kate Bush back on the map had her fucking streams go through the roof.
I cried
with Max and then
running
her
up
fucking,
that hill.
Oh my god.
Literally cried. So, and that's still considered the best episode of Stranger Things to me. That episode specific in particular, where Max, the running up the hill moment where she's escaping Vecna, he had the mind control on her, but then she breaks out because of the music, and he can't do anything when you break out of his mind control, so she's running away. He's just trying to like drop debris on her because he can't actually do anything in that moment. And she, you know, that is still peak for me. There's nothing that I've seen. Although this season does have a moment that I was screaming, but we will get to that way later. I was literally screaming. This season is so good so far. Holy shit. But the end of season 4, Vecna gets fucked up real bad. He gets burned. He gets shot up. He gets like really, really hurt physically and everything. And at the same time, Hawkins experiences what they consider at the beginning of season 5 an earthquake, but really what it is the fucking Upside Down basically merging into real life, like merging into the right side up. And you see a huge crevice open. A fissure. Yeah, that's exactly a fissure. Right, Groudon. You see a fissure open. Several fissures open in the ground in Hawkins, and the way the season ended. Go ahead.
They're humongosaur. Like they're fucking like they are just so fucking long. Like it's, and then when they show kind of the result of that in this season, they show like they once again give the scale of how fucking big it is, and so it's a little unbelievable what ends up happening next. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
they show at the end of season 4, all the kids, you know, the main characters are kind of looking out and Hawkins at what disaster just occurred. This like really bad to the rest of the world natural disaster, but we know it's really like a result of the Mind Flayer and Vecna and all of that stuff. And I thought that season 5 would just be carnage. I thought that season 5 was going to be, I thought that Demogorgons, Demodogs, I thought that the spores that are just floating around in the Upside Down, I thought that we were going to start off season 5 and it was going to be hell on earth, literally.
Yeah, part of my confusion was like with how long they were taking this, because you know, with Stranger Things, every year that passes, it started with kids being like literal babies, basically.
Yeah.
And they just got older and older and older. And they're old as shit now. They're all like fully adults.
I think 10 years?
11, I think, is pregnant right now, for example.
Yeah, she's like, married and everything.
They're whole adults now. So it's been a couple years since season 4. And I was just like, dude, they're getting older and older. Like, they really got to get this next season out because, like, from my perspective, I was like, there's no time skip. Like, it's carnage. It's hell on earth.
Yeah.
Like, the next season's going to start the day, like, tomorrow. It's going to be the next, like, they're going to be in fucking hell. They got to deal with this crazy shit that they are now dealing with. And then when this season starts, the sun's out, and they're like, hey, what's going on? And they're like,
it's a radio show.
Yeah, and there's a radio show, and they're moving around, and they're happy, and then they explain that, like, oh, there was a big earthquake, and then there's this fissure, and then they show where the fissure was, and it's, like, covered by these metal plates, and they zoom out, and it's so fucking long.
Yeah.
Like, how long it is. And then I don't even think it's been, I don't think they give you an exact time frame, but Robin's doing a radio show, and she said it's her 500th episode, so you can take from that it's been roughly a year and a half to 2 years.
I got that it was 18 months, and I don't know if the show said that, but since you just watched it and I watched it last week, I want to say that you are probably more accurate that they did not blatantly say the amount of time. I think I probably saw that reading something that season 5 picks up 18 months after the events of season 4 finale, but I think it's 18 months that it's been since then.
So yeah, my guesstimate was basically Robin's doing a radio show, and she says, today's episode 500. So if you take that as a rough estimate, right?
Yeah.
That's around how long it's been. So I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, it's been almost 2 years?
Yep.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, so they showed that the government came in and basically propagandaed and band-aided the whole thing and just kind of told the citizens, oh, earthquake, we're handling the situation, stay away from this lab. And they're quarantined. The entire Hawkins town, which is not very big apparently, but Hawkins is completely quarantined, so no one can leave Hawkins. So if you are a citizen or whatever, you're in there or you were in there when the fissure happened, you are not allowed to leave this town at all, which is actually a really big deal. It kind of helps to explain why the rest of the world is not really concerned about what's going on in Hawkins, right? At least they don't show that because to them, it's a natural disaster. It's kind of how when something happens in Florida, it's like, oh, Hurricane Maria is going to destroy Florida, but then Florida survives. And then like we kind of know like, oh yeah, they're doing really bad down in Florida, but in Philadelphia and New York, we don't really like care.
There's nothing we can do. Yeah,
we can't do anything. It's a natural disaster, right? So if a hurricane comes and it wipes fucking Tampa off the map, it's like, yes, that's very unfortunate. I'm really sad for the people of Tampa, but after a while, you just kind of go back to your regular life and you don't really like, I don't Google Tampa news in 2025, and I know that Tampa got really fucked up recently because of this Frozen Soul. Shout out to him. But like, I remember they had that whole hurricane thing, and he was like, "Yeah, my place got destroyed and everything." And like, so yeah, to the point, the rest of the world is not really concerned. So if you're wondering about that, because I was wondering about that, like, how's the world not talking about this? But social media doesn't exist. It's the '80s, so there's a lot of factors taking place. Like, it's very interesting how Stranger Things can get away with a lot of things. No pun intended. But
I mean, it is the '80s. You get away with shit. Times were different. People can just go out there, run around. There's no cameras. Although I guess the government does have cameras. There's a part where they like go somewhere. They drive to Mike's house, and Hopper, basically 11, when she ends up seeing Hopper, he's like, "You fucking drove," and they talk about a little bit of that stuff. And they're like, "What? They're going to have you on camera and blah blah blah." But in general, there's not cameras everywhere like there is now.
Yeah, the other plot points is that Eddie died at the end of season 4. And everyone thinks that he was a murderer. So when you see Dustin at the beginning of season 5 in school, he's wearing a t-shirt that says Hellfire Club on it. And there are these fucking corny ass bullies, just like the lamest, corniest, terrible lines bullies. Just like the typical high school in every show that you've ever seen in your entire life, the typical bullies, they push them up against lockers. Hellfire Club is dead, fucker. And like just that entire the mullets.
Hard.
Yeah, like eat shit, you little fuck. Like they're just that thing, and I hate it. It's so cringe, but it's also there had to be at least one set of bullies like this in real life that for every piece of art to imitate life, because I feel like the way they were is how I've never seen a bully not like that in a show before. Like it's always that in high school. Degrassi, like you name a show with kids in it, Boy Meets World, just name a show with kids in it or a movie with kids in it in school, and at some point there's going to be a fucking bully who talks like the way these guys talk. But they're just like, yeah, Eddie's a fucking weirdo. He was a murderer, and if you're basically publicizing that or just like showing that you're in support of that, we're going to fuck you up. And they get really physical with him. But then Lucas, Big Dick Lucas, comes out of nowhere.
Hell yeah.
And he has on like a muscle shirt. He's obviously fucking 6'2" because he's black. And he fucking like pushes them aside, like, yo, what's going on over here? And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, that is a grown ass black ass man. That is a grown ass that is a grown, you can see his 5 o'clock shadow. Like it is so, it's just funny because one of my concerns going into this season was like, yo, these people are so much older now, and I hope they're not going to use CG in every scene to make them look younger. And then when we see Lucas, I was like, okay, so they just didn't even try. Like they just didn't even they just were like, yeah, go be 23. Like go be 23 in high school. Like I Googled his age. I'm like, yeah, just go be 23. So he pulls up, saves Dustin from the bullies, but then they like shove past him, which I was like, that would have been a fight. Like in real life, it's one thing for you to like, I stop you from fucking with my friend, and then you guys just go the other way. You might even spit in my direction or something like that. Not at me or not on me, but like you just kind of spit and walk away. You can't physically touch me though. So when I saw that, I was like, you're not just gonna like shoulder check me. A shoulder check is crazy. Where I come from. I'm from the city, so you can't just shoulder check people. Maybe in Hawkins in the suburbs or whatever, that's like a thing that the kids do in the suburbs.
Yeah,
like
Lucas let him go. He let him live that day.
Yeah. But that's like what we pick up at. We pick up on Robin doing this TV show with, is it Jonathan who's in the room with her putting in the tapes for the sound effects?
Steve.
It's
Steve.
Yes.
And Steve's working his ass off. He's fucking running all around that goddamn studio, doing all these different sound effects and doing all this. He's working his ass off. And I wonder if before everything was before like a soundboard existed in the way they do now.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how they had to do it back in the day. Like,
I was just going to talk to that.
Running around fucking like he was working.
I like that. Not that I ever want to do that. I appreciate the art form. When I was watching that, I didn't know that was even a thing, Kenny, until I saw that scene that like that's how you got sound effects on broadcast. It didn't even occur to me before I could just press a button like right now. I can just press. I can't do it because I restarted my computer and I didn't start my soundboard, but I just tried to press the button for air horns and it didn't activate. But you guys know how when I'm streaming, I get like the brush, the swallowed up air horns. I get another one. I just press a button to do that. I barely put any energy or effort. I certainly don't move my entire body to do it.
Yeah.
So seeing him,
he was burning calories.
100%. He was in a room with like 7 tapes. And he was just like injecting them at certain points, and they would just, I guess, play the one sound that's on an entire VHS tape, and it would, it'd be like a funny noise or a fake applause and stuff like that. I thought it was cool, just the art.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was a lot of work, and it on one end, it's nice that we live in a time where stuff like that is easier. You don't have to work as hard to do things like that, but it is really cool, and I appreciate like where all of that came from. I'm basing this off of a TV show, but I assume maybe to some degree that's how it was done in real life.
Yeah.
Before they had it all figured out. Like the first time somebody did shit like that, it was probably like that.
Yep. So I thought that was cool seeing that in the 80s. That was just a thing. Other things that are happening is Murray. I don't know how you say his name, but he's a smuggler. It seems like he's excuse me. He's doing like deliveries of all types of contraband, and I imagine that some of it is contraband and some of it is just like, okay, here's food. Like he said, I put the grenades under the lettuce. So to me, obviously the fucking government's not giving the citizens grenades. That is not a thing. But they are giving the citizens obviously lettuce and things like that, rations or whatever they need to survive while they're in quarantine. So he's clearly a smuggler. He reminds me of the Onion Knight from Game of Thrones. He's doing what they don't really show or say it, but what he's doing is very dangerous. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, you just have to know that, I guess, because they don't really show you him doing it, but he's stealing from the military and stealing from, like, other places, I guess, to bring, the briars and all these, he's bringing them all types of shit. And I'm like, what are you doing to get this? Like, you're putting your life on the line by doing that, like 100%.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a fun character.
I love him.
There's a little bit of Game of Thrones time with him, though. Once again, I still love it. I love the season. But there's a couple times where like they call him and they're like, we need all of this crazy shit delivered. And then he gets it delivered that day. Yeah. And he even says like, call me fucking Santa Claus and kiss my jolly ass. It's a miracle I was able to get this shit. But then like he does it again in the next episode. I'm like, how the fuck are you? Because he's smuggling it in. I think he's leaving Hawkins. I don't know. Maybe that's not what he's doing, but to me, it seemed as though he was smuggling things in the Hawkins, meaning he was literally leaving Hawkins, which the entire city is quarantined, like you said, to get shit and smuggle it back in. I was like, I don't know how the fuck he's doing this. This is some bad shit, but like more power to my boy. Yeah, I really like him, but like he's a little suspension of disbelief or whatever. He's really cool. He's funny as fuck. He was funny in the previous seasons. Yeah. Trying to get Nancy and everybody hooked up together. Like, I like that whole him and Jonathan storyline. I think it is, right? It's like Nancy and he gave Jonathan, I guess he gave him the wedding ring, if I'm understanding correctly. Yeah, I think that's how I interpret it too. And I was watching some previous episodes, and he was blatantly trying to get them to get it on at one point. Yeah, and like he's like, "Did you do it?" And it's like, "No, we didn't do anything." And it was what the fuck. Right. And then Nancy got really mad. She's like, I'm a really good shot. And no matter how small the target is, I can always hit it. So she kind of threatened him in that way. He's like, I'll have you know, my potato sack is actually not small at all. So I like him. But it's kind of crazy though, because he's talking to kids. I mean, Nancy's not a kid, but he is like talking to kids. Yep. Like when he told the Dustin to kiss his ass and everything, I was like, this got a little weird. I was like, you're an old ass man. Yeah. Yeah, it was, sometimes I wonder if they forget that, and even in the script, maybe that, these are supposed to be children. He was like, pull out your mistletoe and pucker up. I was like, whoa. Yeah, just like, talking crazy. Just talking crazy. The two families have moved in together too, right? Like the Byers and the Wheelers or whatever. Yeah. So the Byers and the Wheelers, at the very start, you see them because you see Mike's younger sister, who's like everybody, they got older. You see Mike's younger sister and then wake up, blah, blah, blah. And there's a part where I think it's Mike. He's pounded on the door. He's like, Nancy, come on, Nance. What the fuck, you bitch? I need to get in there and take a piss. and he's like yelling at his sister. And then who opens the door is Will's mom. Yeah. He's like, I'm sorry. And Will's mom and Nancy were both in there like getting ready or whatever. And then she's like, yeah, you little shit, to her brother. And then she walks out. And then she's like, bet you feel embarrassed, little dick shit. And then
that's exactly what she said in the abridged version.
And then you go into the basement and you see Will and his brother Jonathan are sleeping in the basement. And so, yeah, they're all living in that house. I don't fully remember what happened in season 4, but I guess their house got like blown up or something. I don't remember.
I was kind of like, oh, okay.
Destroyed.
Yeah, let's just go with that because I was like, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't rewatch season 4 going into this. I watched 2 episodes of season 4 and then I watched like a little recap video type thing, and that was basically it. But I don't really need to be filled in on all the minor details. The main thing for me is like, how do we get from season 4 into this season, and what is the plot point that we're going with for season 5?
That's right. They don't even live in that city anymore. Because remember, they moved to Cali. They don't even live in that city, so that's why they're staying at that house, because that family doesn't even live there anymore. Because remember, there's a part of season 4 where they're in like California with that guy. I think his name's Argyle, and he's like always smoking weed and shit, and he works at the pizza place.
Yeah. I do remember that.
And yeah, they were driving around in the desert in like Cali. That's right. So that's why they're staying at the house, because they don't even live in that neighborhood anymore, and because they got quarantined in and can't leave, that's the only place for them to live.
Gotcha. So it's that serious of a quarantine.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you have all of those plot points going on, and there's like a couple major things. The Crawl is the name of episode 1. And basically what it is, and apparently they've been doing this over the course of the last 18 months that the show has not been airing, but Hopper has been going into the Upside Down to try to find Vecna, is what I'm led to believe, so that he can, because they assume that Vecna is injured, clearly, because he's had low activity. They haven't really been attacked. Nothing has really happened. So they've been doing these crawls. They're like, well, he's clearly wounded and not able to really do anything. So this is the time to strike and find him and kill him.
And so that's the part. And in general, I don't know if I will. I think before the part 2 of the season comes out, I might try to rewatch. I don't know if I'll rewatch all of Stranger Things. Part of me kind of wants to because of some other reasons, but I don't know if I will. But when I was watching the season, there were some parts I was a little confused on, and I was like, man, I don't know if I'm just not remembering a key detail or I didn't pay attention correctly. But the thing with Vecna is I know he got severely injured, but then the end of the season, after he got injured, where the fucking world opened up, it was like, oh, he's clearly on demon time. Like, that shit don't matter. So it's just, I guess I'm trying to fully understand, and maybe it just hasn't been fully explained yet, and it'll get explained later. But like, the whole world opened up, and then like nothing happened for 18 months, and then he just like went MIA. You know what I mean? It was like a little, I'm still trying to like piece together exactly how that happened.
I'm in the same boat as you. And I think that it could be that maybe the Mind Flayer, who's like, the big scary figure that we've seen multiple times throughout the show's lifespan, did that part. And then it wasn't strong enough because Vecna got fucked up. And Vecna's like, they said, I know in the earlier season, Dustin says Vecna he's not the top guy, but he's the top guy's 5-star general is what he refers to Vecna as. He's like Vecna is the Mind Flayer's 5-star general. And they've shown that figure. It looks really scary. They've even shown that figure going inside of Will. They've shown Will like being fucking, I don't know, taken over by that ghostly, cloudy looking energy, literally going into his body, and he's just kind of like, just taking it in. And I'm like, damn, this kid has been molested by apparently Vecna, because another big scene at the beginning of season 5, and this scene was fucking creepy and sad and scary, was the scene of Will from season 1, technically. Like, it's basically like a go back to season 1, because Will goes missing, and we come to find out that he was in the Upside Down. They show you what he was doing in the Upside Down while he was gone for days. And apparently he was running for his life from a Demogorgon. He's shooting with his rifle and shit like that. Like, he got a direct hit on the Demogorgon. He climbed a tree in the Upside Down to escape it. Then he had to jump from one tree to another tree. And then he fucking falls. He gets caught in his backpack. Eventually he falls to the ground and passes out. And as he's like coming to a little bit, he's being dragged to the like lab or the fucking the lair of Vecna. He's being dragged to the lair of Vecna. He gets put up against the wall. The wall fucking lifts him up all nastily and organically like it's alive. And then Vecna comes walking out of the darkness and he's like, Will, I'm so happy you're here. Me and you are going to do such beautiful things, such beautiful, beautiful things. And then he fucking puts an asthma mask on him, like a nebulizer on this kid's face, a tentacle, and it starts injecting, I don't even know what, dark matter, nasty bullshit into this kid's mouth. And Will is crying. It is like horror, because obviously the darkest thing you can do in any medium is kill children or fuck with children, right? Like, this is why it is so effective. The show Welcome to Derry right now is airing on HBO. It's doing fantastic. I love it because I like scary shit in general. But showing kids in any kind of like downtrodden way, or like a way where they're literally being murdered, or a way where they're being assaulted or anything like that, that's always going to be like the darkest thing you could basically show in anything. And so when I was seeing Will and like Vecna like forcibly putting whatever that shit was in his mouth, and I'm like, oh, that looks so gross. And then you see the tears coming down his eyes. I'm like, that's fucked up. Like, that is just fucked up. And we remember when Will came back in like season 1 and then season 2, how like he's a weird kid when he comes back. He talks about how he likes it cold, because they try to put him in a hot water and he's like, I don't want to get in that tub because it's hot. You need to make it cold. And he starts talking, he likes it cold. And it's like, who's he? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it got weird. And then I think it was the end of season 1. He spits up like weird demon goop out of his mouth, and it like goes down the drain. So yeah, he gets molested and put random. And so I was under the impression, and maybe this is what Vecna was doing, but I was under the impression like, okay, Vecna's weak right now, and Will was always like his backup plan to be like his new host, his new body or something.
Same.
Like he was like imparting like his energy. Like he was just one of his like backup plans to be a new host, a new power that he can access. Yeah, basically a Orochimaru, right? And then throughout the season, he's collecting these other kids. I'm guessing he's using these kids to like amass his power and like gain more power or whatever. And then some stuff happens later that we'll get to. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly what's happening. But
yeah. And so I think that again, neither of us know this, but at the end of season 4, when the world kind of opens up, or at least in Hawkins it does, and it, I guess it gets stopped or whatever, and it gets contained to just Hawkins because it's not affecting everywhere. But that whole thing maybe was the Mind Flayers doing, maybe it was the residuals of Vecna's last, Hail Mary, and it just didn't really go any further than that because 11 maybe stopped it or whatnot. But we do know that now we're getting a better understanding of how the whole Will thing went down. And we've always kind of known that Will was connected to the Mind Flayer / Vecna, because that's been a thing that's been consistent since season 1, except Vecna wasn't a known character until season 4.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was.
Right. But it's kind of cool that when you do go back, there's scenes of Will saying things about he. Like, he's using specifically male pronouns, which obviously you could say, oh, he's just saying that the Mind Flayer is also he, right? You could say that dark figure that you see. But I'm starting to think that, like, no, that it was always Vecna, right? Like, it was always Vecna, whether they had the idea for Vecna from the beginning, because Vecna apparently is a D&D thing anyway, and this whole show is based on D&D. So, like, Vecna is I saw a picture of what Vecna looks like for D&D, like the base Vecna looks like, and it is kind of cool actually. They said that
Vecna, the Demogorgon is from D&D.
The Mind Flayer, the Mind Flayer is too.
The Mind Flayer, yeah, it's all from D&D. Now that said, what's cool is that they get called these things because the kids are D&D fans.
Yes,
so they call, like, Vecna doesn't refer to himself as Vecna. Like, he's not Vecna. He's Henry. Not actually Vecna. Yeah, he's Henry or number 1 or whatever, but he's not Vecna, and he doesn't think he's Vecna. And the Mind Flayer is not a Mind Flayer, and the Demogorgon's not a Demo. But the kids play D&D, and they kind of graft these ideas. It's just like, when you're a nerd and you're into that stuff, you use that lingo on things. Like, I'll be talking about something completely unrelated, and I'll call it a +1, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you use that lingo on other things. So, but yeah, it's obviously inspired by various D&D things.
Yep. And I mean, even yesterday when we recorded Master and Disaster, you called Sparkman, the position he was in his Alcinar, you said he's doing a Kamehameha, or like he's in a Kamehameha pose. He's about to do. And so that, just to kind of drive the point home, that if I see a certain pose, or I see somebody put 2 fingers on their forehead, it's special beam canon for me for the rest of my life. Like, you can't do that, and I don't think that you're doing special beam canon, right? Like,
or you're instant teleporting,
or you're instantly transmitting, right? It can only be that.
And it can only be those two. It can't be anything else.
So I totally get what you mean. But yeah, they even show scenes where they roll an 11, funnily enough, against Vecna or the Mind Flayer in a game of D&D, and they're like, oh, it's not strong enough to beat him, which is now we're seeing they've always been kind of alluding to 11 is not enough because they roll an 11 in D&D against Vecna, and it just he lives through it, right? So we know that 11 herself is not strong enough. Just like a lot of it's giving Game of Thrones with the whole, when you go back and watch it, it's so cool that a lot of it starts to make sense, whether they had these plans from the beginning or if they're so good at writing that they found a way to make the newer seasons tie into the earlier seasons, which is a skill in itself, and that all writers do that as well.
If you can't, nobody has every single word written of their story when they first write chapter 1. You have ideas, but you don't have it all written down, and you grow and things come as it goes.
Yeah.
And once again, they did a phenomenal job going into season 4 and 5. I think season 1 was incredible.
Yes.
And then season 2 and season 3, I think, like, kind of dipped down, but they fucking pulled it together and they brought it way up, and
this might be
brought it in a great direction.
This might be one of the best turnarounds for a TV show ever, honestly. Because
normally when things start to slip, when things start to go down, they don't go back up.
Yeah, usually
they don't. There's no.
Usually with me and you, especially, like,
it's real rare that I can be like, "Yo, season 3 was bad, but season 4 was good." Like that rarely
it just
gets worse. Like it never gets better.
Yeah, usually shit starts going down. Like I think about The Walking Dead, for example. Once it started going bad, it never recovered and it just stayed bad. And
it just stays bad.
A lot of shows stay bad. A lot of anime that we've seen, it like once it went bad, it just stayed that way and it doesn't recover. So, it's rare. Stranger Things is a rare one. And because specifically the recovery was so well done, like this is honestly one of my favorite shows now. When I was watching season 5, I love the period piece that it is, the aesthetic of the 80s. I love that. It's feel awesome. Like, you feel it. Like you're actually in that time. The music that they're playing.
I'm nostalgic for it. I didn't grow up in the fucking 80s. I was born in 91. But like the show makes you nostalgic for it. Like I wish I could have ran around, just fucking played D&D and got on my bicycle and
fuck
shit.
raw and
I could have did that in the 90s, but I
just living life, PCP and Angel Dust, just like all the things, right? Like
sure. Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know how we got there.
There's no crazy disease that's going around or anything like that just like kills you if you fuck raw. But
no.
The 80s were a great time.
Listen, I don't got to worry about that. All right, back then that was only hitting your people. All right, that wasn't
not
coming
true.
for us yet.
That is just not fucking true. That is you are the problem. You are exactly what was wrong with the 80s.
Bro, it was called the gay cancer.
It was.
What do you want?
It was called that because people were fucking stupid. God damn it. Really Why did they think that there was a disease that was crazy?
This is such a side note, but welcome to the IMNerd podcast.
Yeah.
But back in the day, and this even persisted into the 90s, there was a stigma that if you had AIDS or HIV, people thought you were gay. Like if you were if you were straight
Magic
man
Johnson,
and
the gay rumors came as soon as he had.
They looked at you differently, not because you had AIDS, like not because you had this disease that people perceived as nasty, so to speak. It was more so like, oh shit, he has AIDS. That guy, he's gay.
Yeah, he has to be gay.
I mean, he's got to be gay.
Yep.
Yeah, it was actually, I don't know.
It was so bad that people wouldn't,
piece of history.
People wouldn't drink after you either. Like there was a lot of bad stigmatization in the 80s and 90s about just HIV and AIDS and stuff like that. So it's funny, not literally funny, but it's funny thinking about the 80s seems like an awesome time watching Stranger Things, but there's also this other thing going on, like an entire crisis that is taking place at the same time in terms of disease and stuff like that. But back to the point. 11's not enough to beat Vecna. The kids refer to everything in D&D terms, which I do love because I never played D&D, but I did watch it. I've probably watched over 100 hours of gameplay of in real life D&D. And I'll talk about this on a podcast. My best friend used to go to 30th Street Station. They also used to do it at Fresh Grocer, but 30th Street Station in Philly.
I remember them doing it at Fresh Grocer.
Yep. They used to go there, set up at literally, it would start at midnight and they would play D&D. And I've only done this a handful of times, but if you think about how many hours I was there, like I would be there until 8 a.m. So from 12 to 8 a.m., I would just be there while they're playing D&D, and I would have like my PSP with me or like a DS.
Starting at midnight is diabolical.
It was wild.
That is fucking crazy.
I'm not kidding either. That's when they would start. They would go to these places that they knew would be open 24 hours, and it would be a midnight until the sun came up, but not just like the sun comes up, like when people are commuting to work.
Yeah.
Like it would be that type time.
That's the worst time in the world, man. As someone like us, people like us, we stay up all night frequently. I remember the worst thing in the world is when, you're a kid or whatever age it is, but when you are staying up all night, you're playing a video game or D&D or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever it is.
Yep.
And then it starts getting to that morning time and then people start waking up and then they start getting ready and doing their responsibilities and going to work. And it makes you feel so awkward because you're like, I haven't been to bed yet
at all.
And I'm having the time of my life. And now you guys are waking up and it's going to ruin everything.
Yep. Yep. I have stories that I can't even tell about those hours because, that's where a lot of things go down in those hours. That's all. I'll leave
one of my favorite memories, and I apologize for being off topic, but anyway, one of my favorite memories is getting a new video game, and I'll use Kingdom Hearts 2 as the example. But and my dad was very strict. I had a very strict father, and he made sure I was asleep. By the time I was in high school, my bedtime was 10 o'clock. I had to be in my room, lights off, and laying down by 9.
Damn.
And I had to be asleep by 10. Yeah, my dad didn't play that.
Your dad was stricter than I thought. Yeah, that's actually very strict.
Yeah, I remember people in school making fun of me. They were like, "You have a bedtime," and I was like, "You go tell my dad no and see how that."
Yeah,
works.
what the fuck are y'all gonna do? My dad will beat your dad's ass.
Yeah, the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So, but what I would do is I would set an alarm for 3 a.m. or whatever,
yep.
And then I'd wake up, and then I'd everybody's asleep, and then I would play Kingdom Hearts 2 or whatever until 6 in the morning, and I would get ready for school, and it was awesome. Everybody was asleep. I'd playing my game. I've loved it. It was great.
That explains why you are the way you are though now. Because I always wonder, you're such a night owl. Like when I met you, I would be going to bed mid conversation as I do, and you would be in your chair at your computer like fucking L from Death Note. And you just be, and I would wake up, to go piss or just wake up in the middle of the night, and it'll be 4 a.m. now. I went to bed at let's say 1. It is now 4, and you are still where I left you at, just perched up in your chair on your computer, just whatever you're doing. And I was like, man, this guy is like Batman. You're fucking in my mind's eye right now, seeing it back, going back to 2010, 2011, you just were such a night owl. And I always wondered, how did you get to the point where you function that much at these extremely late hours? Because 4 a.m. for me has never been, I've never been the 4 a.m. kind of person. That's always been a 4. I'm rarely awake at 4 a.m. If I'm not fucking, 4 a.m. is off limits.
I've been in many hangout sessions, IRL or Discord calls, but by 4 a.m. you're snoring in the mic.
Oh, I'm gone.
It's over.
I don't make it to 4. 4 is the number that I just don't see very often. I don't make it to season 4 of any night. So, but you're such a, that explains a lot though. You basically trained yourself to wake up at 3 to start gaming at that time. It's kind of because I always wondered, okay, my best friend who took me to these D&D nights with him, I always wondered how he even got to the point where that was okay in his body, his brain to but he would sleep during the day, obviously, right? He would sleep a good chunk of the day, set an alarm for 11 p.m., get up at 11 p.m. and be to the D&D thing at 12. And that was just how he lived his life. He just lived his life like that. I didn't do it. I didn't do it all the time, but every once in a while I'd be you know what? It's Thanksgiving week or whatever. Tomorrow was Thursday, which is basically Friday Eve. So I can stay out later tonight because tomorrow was Friday, and I would go with him to a D&D night. That would be a thing that I would do. And I enjoyed watching them talk about they had a game master named Shadow. He would do all the games and stuff like that every single night. And then they would have their characters, they would have storylines, they would go through fights, they would roll dice. There would be people who would oh, if you don't roll this here, you're probably just chalked. And then they would be so hyped when they would actually roll a natural 20 and they would erupt, and I would be half asleep with my PSP in my hand. I would fucking wake up what happened? What happened? It's Marion almost died, but she actually rolled a natural 20, so she healed the whole party to full. And I'm oh shit. And then I go back to sleep. But yeah, that was a thing.
Back to sleep.
So Stranger Things is cool to me because I never really played D&D, but I'm fond of D&D even still.
Yeah, I mean, D&D is really fun. It's an RPG, right? We love Final Fantasy and stuff like that. I love D&D because you get to play Final Fantasy but you have full control over your character and your build, and you do whatever you want. It's literally Final Fantasy, but you control one character and you kind of play through all these things, and then the story's written by you and the other people you're playing with. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. So Anyway, back to season 5. The Crawl. Hopper goes into the Upside Down. He basically jumps in the back of a military cargo, and they get attacked this time. So now, and obviously the story starts here because it's like, okay, 18 months, no activity, right? They've been looking for Vecna, never found them. They don't even know where Vecna is. And honestly, most of the season plays out where you just don't know where Vecna is. So far, at least part 1. But he's in the back, and everything's going the way it normally goes. You can tell because they're like, oh yeah, he's here. We're following him in our car. They have this thing where in the right side up, they follow with him. They have like a little tracker thing that can it can go from Dimension X into the real world. And so they're like following to make sure that like, you know, we know where he is. He can never get lost. We're good. Everything's going normal. And they even kind of treat it like it's not a big deal. This is just our normal thing that we do. But on tonight, Will starts feeling fucking weird. He starts feeling the back of his neck, and he can tell that something is different, something is off. And as soon as he gets that feeling, you see on this, like, I don't know, government scanner thing, looks like a submarine sonar thing, a bunch of little red dots are circling the military cargo. And somebody, I forget who it is, but they're like, oh no, they're coming. And they used, when they said I was like, oh God. Because one Demogorgon we saw.
Yeah, they're problems.
The prison in Russia with the Demogorgon with Hopper and the many-faced god. I think that was actually the many-faced god's actor, Jagan Hagar from Game of Thrones. It's like Hopper and him have a little Russia prison moment last season. And I thought that was really cool too. But you see one Demogorgon versus an entire group of inmates. It just killed every single person except Hopper and the fucking Russian guy. Like everybody got killed.
Yeah.
Zero
give. It was fucking bad, bro.
Yeah, one Demogorgon.
It was bad.
So
the Demogorgons are crazy. Dude, you know what else is crazy though? Because like you said, so Hopper is on a military vehicle and he like sneaks in on this military vehicle. So the military now, they have a whole military base in the Upside Down.
Yes.
Like they have a whole functioning facility in the Upside. There's a part where the one guy's like, we need air support. And I was like, air support?
Yeah, like, where the fuck are you at?
Fucking helicopters started coming through. Like, they're just living in here. Like, they're hanging the fuck out.
Leave it to the U.S. government. We ain't scared of nothing.
Like, yeah, it's fucked up.
Because it is wild.
They ain't scared of nothing but black people, bro.
Literally just that. Literally just that. Like, and maybe Muslims.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. No. They're big scared of Muslims. They probably more than black people nowadays.
New York is about to become fucking Palestine. New York is about to be Iraq. New York is going to be Iraq. You're going to have the Taliban in New York. Like they're just crazy. Like
so stupid.
Yeah. But the government is scared of literally nothing, and they have air support in the Upside Down, which I did think was so wild. Like this man called in an enemy UAV spot, like he fucking playing Call of Duty. Like he called in. It
was like air support.
He called it an airstrike. It fucking the Upside Down, bro. So yeah, they're in there. You see a bunch of presumed to be Demogorgons approaching the military, and they're moving fast. They're moving so fast that there's nothing that by the time that you see them on the little sonar thing, there's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that could have been done. You're dead. And when the Demogorgons descend on these 3 or 4 military trucks, they just rip everything to shreds, including the people. It's bad. It's brutal. And I love it because it gets you right back into the horror of Stranger Things. Stranger Things, they want you to understand, while yes, this show does focus around children, high school students now, whatever, it is still adult horror. You're watching humans,
it's pretty brutal,
be literally ripped apart. You see body parts flying. You see a lot of blood. You see these gashes that when the Demogorgon slashes at somebody, it leaves these really thick, really huge gashes across their body. So, yeah.
It's definitely got like 80s, 90s horror vibes and like all the blood. I mean, there's a part in, I think it's still episode 1, if not it's episode 2, when the Demogorgon makes it to Mike's house, and as far as I know, kills their dad. The dad gets fucking destroyed, and then the mom.
Oh, you're talking about Holly's parents or whatever? Like, yeah, they are in the hospital. They are, in my opinion, I thought they were dead too. I'll be honest.
The mom gets ripped the fuck up, and then like they show them, but I don't, and maybe I missed it. I don't feel like they ever said the dad's name again. They're like, oh, the mom. They showed the mom. They showed the mom in the hospital. I didn't write the dad off. It wasn't me. It wasn't my pen. They never showed him. Like they never said they're not even worried about him. They're not even like, oh, my dad's in trouble.
Yeah.
It's just mom. Like mom's in the hospital. Mom's not doing so good. We're trying to get mom back. Dad is gone. I don't know where the fuck Dad is.
I think Dad's in the
That
hospital
boy
with
dead.
Mom. They didn't show him being zipped into a body bag or anything like that. I think he's still alive as well, but I understand the injuries that he sustained from the Demogorgon slashing him and knocking him against the fucking wall in the next room with one
it was brutal.
It was one swipe. And it slashed and knocked him back into a fucking wall in the room that they were not in.
Yeah, it was brutal. So I brought that up, which is a little bit ahead of what we're talking about, but just another thing to kind of because when they show the mom covered in blood and all of the blood on the floor, just to kind of go to your point of like how brutal some things can be.
Yeah, no, and this season does a really good job of showing you this is like the first scary, horrible scene that you see, honestly, besides little Will getting pumped by Vecna. So like when the Demogorgons descend and they start killing the military people, I was like, oh god, Hopper, like how is he going to survive this? Of course, he just Deus Ex Machina. He stumbles out of the
Hopper.
He's
that guy.
He
survived Russia, bro. Like he does whatever the fuck he wants.
Yep. So he just survives. Like there's no real explanation. He just kind of like the Demogorgons don't care for him, and he just walks away and ends up in a forest somewhere. He's looking around and trying to figure out what's going on. And there's also this like montage that happened prior to him even going in with 11 because they want to update you on what every character has been doing.
Yeah.
11 has been doing training in the Upside Down, or not in the Upside Down. She's been doing training in the regular world, this obstacle course, and like she could put her hand out and explode pumpkins with just like a quick glance at it. She could just like look over, see a pumpkin, and just make it explode. And that could be someone's head, and they want you to understand that. So she can just make someone's head explode by just putting her hand out real quick. So she's way more in control of her powers. She can also glide, basically. She could jump really high and then like slowly come down. She can control it. She's very powerful now, and they want you to understand that. She's beating her best time. And when the crawl gets announced, which they do a really cool way to even show that there's going to be a crawl. Like Robin gets on the radio and she gives all of these really weird details that only they would know how to pick up on. The time, the place, you know, all of these things, how long you're going to have. You're going to have 2 hours. It's going to be here. I love that. Again, world building. How do you communicate in the 80s when you don't have cell phones? Because again, it's atmospheric. You have to like immerse me in the 80s. And I love that.
You know what else it reminded me of? And it's just like, this is just something that is real that was done. But the first thing it just reminded me of, because we're people of media, was watching The Last of Us. When at Last of Us episode 1, they kind of go over like the radio call signals where you listen to the radio and it's like, you know, 80s means this, 90s means this, this means that.
Right.
Yeah, and this means like danger, and they're trying to use the radio to communicate and figure out where Joel's brother is, etc. But yeah, it reminded me of that, and they're using the radio to communicate. And Robin says something to kind of cue everybody in, and when she says it, they're all like, "Oh shit!" and they like turn it up, and they're listening to what she's saying. And then she's using all of this code, like, "Oh, and this song came out in 1983, 83 meaning this," and she's like saying something, "Oh, you wouldn't believe," and she's using all of this code, and they got to write it down and keep up what she's saying.
I love that.
Decipher the code. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
So yeah, Demogorgon's coming down. Hopper survives, but yeah, 11 has been training. So you just understand that she's stronger. She's also way bigger, and again, every character is just so much older looking now. I'm glad they didn't try to blatantly de-age them all with CG throughout the whole, because that would have been annoying to have to see. So they're just letting them be the way they look is just the way they look. And I was staring at her.
They did a decent job making them look younger. Like for example, I saw a picture of Lucas like last year. I think Frazier sent it to me.
Yeah.
And it's like Lucas with like braids, his shirt off.
Yep.
And like he just looks like
I would date.
I would date a fucking basketball model. Like he looks crazy.
No, I would.
He's all tall and shit. They did a good. All right, we get it. All right.
No.
And it doesn't.
Like, how many times you gonna say? I'd fuck him. I'd fuck him. Yo. Oh god.
But like seeing what he looked like, and then seeing him in this, obviously still looks like an older person, but he does look significantly younger than the picture I saw of him a year ago.
No, 100%. The haircut, he has the Black Ranger from season 1 of Power Rangers haircut with a really fucked up hairline and everything like that. The box, the one hairstyle they had for black people back then. Like he looks. Tell me I'm lying. All right. Anyway,
I ain't telling you shit.
So yeah, he like everybody looks older. 11 in particular. So in my memories of Stranger Things, 11 always looked extremely small and young. Maybe because of the bald head.
I mean, we saw her as a baby. You know what I mean? Like, we saw her as a fucking baby. Like, it was weird in the last season because, like, she was already an adult in season 4. I don't know her exact age, but I know she was an adult in season 4.
I think she had turned 18 or something like that. at that time.
I remember the internet just being weird because
Yep.
I remember people being like, she's kind of hot. Like, look at the ass on her.
Yeah, like immediately.
And
frame 1, 18,
me,
like 17.
Frame 1. And
17,
me,
and then at midnight turned 18. Look at that ass. Like, no.
For me, it was weird because, like, I still saw her as a baby.
Yep.
Just because, like, the way I saw season 1, you know what I mean? But yeah, people got weird.
Not me with Lucas. But anyway, so yeah, I looked at her and I was like, this outfit she has on, like, this outfit is really what do you like? This outfit is like really crazy that she's wearing like the workout gear or whatever from the 80s.
Yeah, it's definitely an 80s outfit for sure.
Yeah.
It's like she's got the red shorts with like the sweatpants under it and like the sweat tights, hoodie, crop top,
and the headband, the fucking
outfit.
Headband.
Yeah, it is it's some what's his name? Gene Simmons, is that his name?
The guy, the workout instructor,
the workout guy. Yeah,
I think you hit it right. Yeah, I think it's Gene Simmons, but if it's not, they'll correct us. Yeah, she looks grown. Like, I looked at her and I was like, that's not a high school student, but I'll go with it. Like, I'll run with it. But when I saw her in that outfit walking up, I was like, that's just an adult woman right there. Like, I can tell there is nothing about her that is a kid anymore. It is what it is. It's not I don't have a gripe about this. The internet seems to be annoyed about it, though. Like, they're like, oh, they waited too long. It's like, bro, we had a writer's strike and a pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it sucks. Would it have been great if it all came together sooner and they were still younger? Sure. But at the end of the day, I also wonder for somebody who's never seen Stranger Things, right? If you go and now you hear about this show and now you watch it from season 1 and you go through the seasons, will it hit them differently? Will they have this whiplash? Whereas, like, we lived with real time, so we understand it a bit more.
Right.
I don't know. But then again, it sounds like there's people like, I don't know, they're older. They age, shit happens.
Yeah, people age. Like, what do you want them to do?
It is what it is.
Like, to me, here's the thing. Last thing I'll kind of say about this, I feel like the thing that takes precedence over everything, the thing that I care about way more is the story good. I don't give a fuck. I actually don't care who you use for actors. I don't really, like, they don't need to be black. They don't need to be white. They don't need to be whatever specific race. I know some people get really hung up on, like, oh, my Little Mermaid needs to be white. I don't care about that. Is this a good story that you're telling? Is this, if you're going to redo it, is this a good remake of it? That's what I care about. I'm not really concerned about, like, these people are too old to be high school students, or these people don't really represent the original characters or whatever. That doesn't matter to me. As long as the actors are capable and the story is good and makes sense, that's what takes precedence. So because this season 5 so far is really good, I don't really give a fuck that these people are like 23, 22. Nancy, I think Nancy's actual actress is like 30 something years. She's literally in her 30s. So it's like,
hell yeah, give her my number, bro.
She's beautiful, by the way.
I fucking love her.
Nancy, her eyes, oh my god, she's so pretty. Like, I was staring at her watching season 5 and I was like, was she always like, she's so pretty.
A friend of mine was like, I wasn't attracted to her, but I saw her in this season. I was like, well, get in line, bitch. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna get in line.
I mean, I see why people are literally fighting over her in the show. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I get why she's the girl that people fight over in the actual TV. Like, she's that beautiful. But yeah, so upside down shit, like, 11 looks older. She's doing training regimens. Anyway, she said that if she beat her time, if she made it to a certain time specifically, it was like 12.5 or something, 12 and a half, I think was the time, that if she beat that or made that time, she would be allowed to go in on a crawl with Hopper. And he, essentially, we found out that he lied and said that you didn't make that time. He didn't say you didn't make that time. He said, I didn't see it, which is a lie, though, because he did see it. Because when he tells Joyce later on, he's like, did she make the time? And he's like, she fucking killed it. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. Like, she fucking absolutely cooked the time that she should be on this. She should have been on the crawl.
Yeah, she should have been on the crawl, but fuck her.
She should have been on the floor with me. She should have been in the back of that van when the Demogorgons came. She should have been right there.
Like, I get it. She's still a kid. He's like, look, it's not. And his point was, listen, this is supposed to just be recon. I've done this all this time. This is just recon. Like, we don't need our nuke right now. Like, this is just us getting in and getting out. This isn't a situation where if we get in trouble, we're fighting. It's if we get in trouble, we're running.
Yep.
And those are different things that some people don't quite understand. Like, somebody like 11, if things start to go south, she's going to want to fight. She's going to want to get things done. Where Hopper understands that that's not the point of this mission right now. We're not going into this mission prepared to fight. It's about getting in and getting out. So I understand where he's coming from, and it's hard to explain that to a 16-year-old or however old she's supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know how old they're supposed to be either. Because I was thinking you could blatantly tell me that these are junior or senior kids, and that's like acceptable, obviously, because they're way too big to be anything less. But I don't know if enough time has passed in the show for them to actually be in that class. But whatever. I'll say 16 as well, because that seems reasonable. Yeah, so he gets out of trouble as usual, and like the long and short of it is that the Demogorgon is after Holly specifically.
Yep.
And there have been these little scenes sprinkled throughout of Holly talking to someone that you never see physically. Like the teacher will go look for Holly, and she's just literally standing next to a gate having a full conversation with nothing. Like nobody's there. Yep. In the real world, nobody's there, but she's having a full conversation with someone. And they show a silhouette at one point. They show like a person in a suit, clearly male, and like you don't see the face, but you see that there's somebody wearing like a top hat kind of thing, and they're in a suit, and you don't know who it is. And it to me, I was like,
it's Mr. What's-It.
Yeah, Mr. What's-It is what he goes by or whatever. But like Holly seems a little crazy, and at first I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure what's going on with this part of like what the storyline is here, because they've also want us to believe that Vecna is down for the count, right? Like he's not really. So I was like, okay, is this something else, or is this like genuinely just him? Is this just fucking Henry / Vecna / whatever?
Can I say something real quick?
Please.
Mike is slacking, bro. Or the whole squad is slacking.
They are, honestly,
because Holly, Mike's younger sister, is talking about. She has this imaginary friend she's talking to, Mr. What's-It, and she's talking to this imaginary friend and like really talking to him, and everybody's like, it's kind of weird, and like she, let's take her to therapy and shit. And then there's a part where she's telling Mike, she's like, yeah, Mr. What's-It told me like the monsters are coming, and she starts talking about the monsters and the Demogorgon and shit.
Yep.
And then they're just kind of like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, Mike, you needed to be on shit. You need to be like, all right, they're fucking with Holly. Like,
yeah, like what did he look like? It described
this
guy.
Needed to be a bit quicker on dealing. Like they were like, oh, but like I didn't take like at some point they're like, I think maybe Holly really did see, and it's like, no shit. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. For people who went through this already, they should be on point, but they're not. For whatever reason, they're just not.
Yeah, they were just letting her rock.
Yep.
Like letting her rock with Mr. What's-It. I am curious. This is a random side note. I'm curious why he chose Mr. What's-It. Now there is a part where they explain that Holly had a book, and in the book there was, I think, like a fictional character named like something What's-It. It wasn't Mr. And they made a point of saying like that was something different, and Mr. What's-It is something else. But there was something in a book that she read, and it was something called What's-It. And maybe it's just that Henry chose Mr. What's-It to relate to Holly. But then I'm curious because all of the other kids seem to know Henry as Mr. What's-It as well, as it gets revealed later. So I just wonder if Mr. What's-It is something else that will get elaborated on more, if it's just like a stupid, silly name and I don't have to waste my time thinking about it.
Yeah, there's something about a wrinkle in time going on as well. I think the book comes up in the show, Stranger Things Season 5.
Yeah.
Like a wrinkle in time, and there's like all these allusions to fantasy things. There's like allusions to Alice in Wonderland and things like that, when Holly gets trapped inside of Vecna's mind and all that. But yeah, the Demogorgon is after Holly specifically. So it kills, or so I thought at the time, it kills her parents. Her mom goes out in a really awesome blaze of glory, like, get the fuck away from my daughter, breaks the bottle, starts stabbing the Demogorgon. And I'm like,
she was going in.
She was doing damage. Look at us. She was doing, she was.
The same thing. At
the same time. Because she was, though. Like, we gave her props. Like, she was doing damage. And then, of course, I was waiting for it, and then it fucking reeled back and just slapped her with the claws, and I was like, all right, she's dead. And then by the time they get there, I love the way they shoot this scene too. They shoot this scene in such a cool way. So by the time they get there, they're showing you that people are on the way. They're showing you like 11 of them. They're all, everyone's on the way to this house where the Demogorgon is attacking. They're also simultaneously showing you the Demogorgon wrecking havoc in this house. Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, they're going to get there and they're going to like stop it. Like 11's going to get there, put her hand up, put it against the wall and disintegrate it like she did in season 1. When they get there, she's already gone. Holly's gone. Mom is dying on the floor. Dad is dying on upstairs. Everybody's already fucked up.
We didn't see Dad.
Okay. Well, Kenny is determined that Dad just was never.
They were on fuck that guy. They were on fuck him.
But yeah, everything is already. So they're like, what happens? Like they took Holly. And so this is really big thing.
She didn't even ask where her dad was.
Yeah. And Nancy's pissed. Like, I think the episode kind of ends with like Nancy being pissed or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like the thing is, why is he taking a new child who's around the same age that Will was? And it's also, I remember this, Mike or Will, one of them says, this is the anniversary almost of when shit went down.
I think it was 3 days before the day you disappeared.
Yep.
It's right around that time.
Yeah.
Or he said it's the exact day, but I don't think it was the exact day.
No, I don't think it was the exact day either. I think it was, it's around the anniversary of it, but it's not the exact day.
Yeah.
And there's other little weird stuff going on in the season where like they're in class and the professor's talking about time travel and just like all these other things. And there's the Wrinkle in Time book that they blatantly zoom in on when somebody's reading, like Holly has it in her hand, and they make a bunch of allusions about that. So you have that going on. There's also the number 12 that comes up a million times. There are 12 children specifically that are being, I guess, cursed by Vecna is what they used to call it. Whenever Vecna starts doing this bullshit to you, they call it like his curse. There are 12 children. Yep. So the little kid, what's the fucking, he's a little shit.
Oh, Dipshit Derek.
Dipshit Derek. So Dipshit Derek is one of the 12. Holly's one of the 12. Vecna apparently already has, like, next to Holly, there were like 3 other kids, or 2 or 3 other kids who were already hooked up to one of those not machines, but like the fleshy tentacle thing.
Yeah, it's like a molestation tentacle.
Yeah, the incubation thing that's just like injecting the shit in their mouth and all that. They're already in that. So Holly's not even really, like, they show her in the mind of Vecna or whatever, but like her physical body, she was abducted, and it's revealed that she is physically in the upside down somewhere in like Vecna's inner chamber place. And these other kids are trying to be, so he wants like 12 children. We don't really know what the exact plan is, but it's giving. Yeah,
because my bad.
No. I was gonna say it's giving like clock and shit like that. Go ahead, you can go.
In season 4, the Curse of Vecna, he needed to like kill 4 people. I don't remember the exact specifics, but he needed these 4 kills for the Curse of Vecna. That's when we saw like Chrissy and the other boy, and I think somebody else.
Oh,
and
then
finally Max.
Every time he killed someone, like the crater thing grew, right?
Yes, yeah. Every time he killed someone, the crater grew. So it showed them kill, and by the way, they had some gruesome deaths. Like the way they died, like with their fucking arms cracking and shit, like
then they fall.
Yeah, and then they just dropped. They had some brutal fucking deaths. So the Curse of Vecna, it was like these 4 kills, and then the 4th and final kill that was like going to bring the upside down to the real world was Max. Max was the final thing. And then it gets confirmed in the season that she did literally die. And then we also know that 11 like brought her back to life and like some other stuff happened. But that was like the Curse of Vecna that time. There was these 4 kills. Now they're talking about Vecna, whether it's a curse or whatever he's doing this time, and he's getting Holly and Dipshit Derek and all these other kids. Nancy was talking about how like it is different because before last year he was killing these people, and it was these 4 people, and he killed them and to achieve this goal. But now he's appearing to them as a friend. He's appearing to them as Henry, as if he's helping them, and he's being friendly with them, building a relationship with them. And so they don't know what his plan is, because before he had no time to be your friend. He just fucking killed you. Like, you got cursed, and it was like you were on that time, and it was like you'd fucking died. There actually was something about a clock in season 4 as well. I don't remember specifically, but I remember them showing because they died at a certain time.
There was a time. There was a time, and there was a grandfather clock, I feel like. In his, because he has like a specific house too. Henry grew up in a specific house, and they would go back to that house. I mean, they literally were running in that house in season 4, right? Like they were literally there. And that's where he was. That's where Vecna was or whatever. But something about that clock, now it's the number 12. There's 12 victims or whatever that he's trying to. And then when Will, who's connected to Vecna, started drawing the fucking illustration of where he's seen the girl, like where he's seen Holly and the other kids, it was like 12 spires. When he used this word spire, I was like, oh, good. But he said there were 12 spires, and I was like, slay the spire, the heart, right?
Slay that shit.
Yeah. So 12 spires with the children. Every child was on 1 spire, and there were a bunch of blank spires.
And he drew it as a 2D image, but probably when we see it in real life, it will be like a clock. It'll be like 12 in a circle.
Yep.
Like a clock.
That's exactly what I think. So there's something going on there as well. So we can kind of get to Max is actually completely alive and in the mind of Vecna. And she explains it. At first, I didn't trust her, obviously, because first you have Henry, who is Vecna, talking to Holly, and he's giving her favorite desserts, her favorite like music, all these beautiful dresses. One of the dresses I didn't notice, but I watched a new Rockstars video, and in that video they said the first dress that you see her in that Vecna gives her is actually the one his little sister was wearing in season 4. So I would not notice that unless I rewatched season 4 and then immediately watch season 5. So if I did a full rewatch of Stranger Things, that's one of those things that you'd be sitting there like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luckily, there's YouTube videos like new Rockstars that just tell you this stuff. So apparently the first dress, because she changes into like 5 different dresses, but the first dress she has on blatantly is carbon copy. No differences. Cool. The dress that Vecna's little sister had in season 4. So that's really cool. The last dress that she has on, when like Max and shit comes is actually Alice in Wonderland's. The blue one with the white in the middle.
Yeah.
It's that exact Alice in Wonderland.
That's the vibe I got from it.
Yep. So I love that. I love that little thing. She's like, how did you know this is my favorite dessert? And he's like, just a hunch. I'm good with hunches. And that is also an allusion to Tom Riddle from Harry Potter, where Voldemort as Tom Riddle, he's sitting at a table in the Half-Blood Prince movie, and he says, like, this one guy is eating this pie, and he's like, how do you know that I like this exact flavor of pie? And Tom Riddle looks over in his human form, and he's just like, I had intuition. And it's that exact same vibe. But yeah, he's treating her really nice. Like Kenny said, it's really strange because he didn't used to do that. He used to just haunt you literally. But now he's being nice to these people, and he's telling them, he's telling Holly, I want all your friends to be here first. She's like, you're gonna bring the adults too, right? He's like, he pauses. And this tells me that he's
real pedo vibes, bro. He's like, yeah, the adults will come, but we need the kids first. We gotta have the kids here.
Even the way he says that, when she says the adult thing, he doesn't answer right away. To me, just says he's lying. Because he says nothing. And after a pause, he goes, yeah, but we need the kids first. And I was like, interesting. So he has no intent to bring any fucking adult. Like, it's not about adults. But
no, he
tells her this rule. You can do anything you want here. Just don't go into the woods. Promise me that you will never go into the woods. That's where the monsters are. And then he leaves. Like, he leaves. Then she goes to the mailbox, and there's a letter at the mailbox, and it says, Holly, this is Vecna, this is Henry. I need your help. I was so confused. It's like, I'm in the jam. I need your help. Come to this wall, and here's a map to find me. And on the map, and I didn't notice this, again, new Rockstar, shout out to them. I didn't notice this on the map. On the map, as you go up and up and up and up, close to the wall, it says, walk up the hill. And then when she does she follows the instructions. At first she's a little scared and pensive about it because she's like, he told me not to do this. But then she eventually does it. Holly just mans up and she just fucking does it. And when she gets there, Max is there. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's actually cool. Like, they pointed out, it says up the hill, like running up the hill, Max, the whole thing. So that's kind of cool, little Easter. It's just the Easter egg kind of thing. Just thought I'd bring it to everyone's attention. But yeah, she goes towards this cave. She gets to like this cave, which is blocking where as far as she can go. Like, there's this cave, there's this big wall with crevices, and like she's looking in it and she's scared because it looks ominous as fuck. And I think that she hears something or sees something.
She sees something drop down. Max jumps down. At this point, you don't know who the fuck it is, but you see a shadow jump down, and they do like a classic like scary movie noise.
Yep.
And it's like, oh shit, and it gets scared, and she runs away, and then you see a person running after her, and they're wearing boots and jeans, and you don't know who the fuck this is, but somebody starts chasing Holly.
And eventually Holly gets down low, hiding, and then it's revealed that it's Max. Max is actually here in the same exact place that Henry has Holly trapped in. And so Max starts talking, and I just don't believe her. Like, I don't know if you felt this way, but I was like, I just don't think that's Max. I was like, it took me a good amount of convincing, because she goes out of her way, by the way, to make sure you know it's her. But in the first 3 minutes of her just talking to Holly, I was like, there's no shot. Vecna's about to do something horrible. I was like, he's about to do something so grotesque and horrible to this little girl. I was scared, bro. I was like, please don't, like, I just didn't want to see this little girl get like bent up and cracked, all her bones cracked and shit. I was like, man, this guy, when he kills people, he's so brutal.
I was on board pretty quick. I don't know if it was just like, I don't know for what reason or another, but I was just like, I was like, oh, that's cool. Max is here. I didn't even think about it.
I don't know
Max
why.
is here. That's cool.
I don't know why. I just got this really bad feeling. I was like, oh God, this is like how he's going to, because he already told her what not to do. So that's it was like, don't do this. And
you thought it was like a punishment.
I thought it was going to be like you broke the rules. And
I told you not to go into the fucking woods. And
here's what, okay. And, and here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought Max would be talking all nice, and then the fucking world would turn dark. And it would just get like really evil looking, and then Max would start to transform into like Vecna basically, and he'd be like, you can't follow instructions, and some evil shit. Like I was ready. I was so ready for that world, because the world that he took her to, it's all flowers and rainbows and shit.
Yeah, it's really pretty, and it's confusing. So they show the wall, and this is after you see this big wall of flesh in the Upside Down, and Hopper and 11 make it to this wall of flesh, and they're trying to figure out what it is, and they're trying to rip through it. And basically, 11 lost track of number one, Henry Vecna. And then she was they were tracking Holly, and then she lost track of them. And they were able to like triangulate that essentially it's behind this wall. We got to get behind this wall.
Yeah.
I think this is where Holly is. And so they're talking about this wall and they're trying to stab the wall, etc. And then the military shows up and they're using this fucking sonar thing that paralyzes 11. It's like her kryptonite is what they call it.
Yeah.
And she goes down, some stuff happens. But the point is they show this big wall and then they show this big rock wall when you see this beautiful area. And so immediately I put together, and you know, it's not that I put it together. I think it's supposed to be obvious that is the same wall, like either side of the wall. And then there's a part where Max is explaining to Holly kind of everything that's going on, everything she's been doing. And we can get into like all that stuff that happens because that becomes relevant to like the whole Wrinkle in Time thing. That's the stuff that she does. But before we talk about that, I just want to the wall relevance. She says like this place is a prison. Like it looks beautiful, but it's a prison. And I only watched it once, but it sounded like to me she said this is Vecna's prison, meaning I understood it to be this Vecna is being held prisoner here. I did not understand it to be this is a prison designed by Vecna and we're prisoners here, even though they are prisoners there because they're in Vecna's mind. So they are prisoners, but to me, it was like they're prisoners in addition to Vecna being prisoner here. I might have misunderstood that, but that's how I read the situation.
Definitely agree with your point of it's not a prison designed for these people. It's not designed for Max, especially because Max says she's not even supposed to be there. She does a whole montage of like she was going through his memories, which he does not like, obviously. She was seeing things that like she doesn't think she was supposed to be seeing. She saw into his mind. She saw like him in school in a play, all types of stuff. She gets to this one memory. She gets to the murder at Hawkins' lab, the massacre. She sees that. She like sees that a bunch of times. But then she gets to like one memory in particular that she said he's afraid of. So clearly this prison is not a prison that was designed for them to just be running around and roaming through his shit. There's clearly something that he doesn't want you to know about. And for whatever reason, when he's chasing Max into the cave, because Max does like she gets like a whole 30 minutes to herself to just explain what's been going on. Basically, the music, the running up that hill, almost freed her from being unconscious in that coma because Lucas was standing next to her in the hospital while she was asleep and he's playing the infamous song. And like, that music has bringing her back to consciousness. The music is the way to like, you can get to people in the darkest places, she says. So that's really cool. We get that. You see the music, you hear the music, and you see her seeing the opening to the real world that she's about to go to it, although she does not moving fast enough for me. But she's like staring at the opening and just she's literally staring at it. And mind you, at the time that she sees that opening, she's in the deepest, darkest parts of like Vecna's inner layer thing. Yeah. But the song cuts off in the real world. Like the record player, the fucking thing that he's playing it on, the boombox, whatever you want to call it, that thing just stops playing, and it doesn't stop playing at the end of the song. It doesn't stop playing. It's not like the song comes to a natural end. Like I've heard that song because I have it downloaded on my phone. I listened to it a lot, especially last year or not last year, but 3 years ago when this season 4 aired. I played that shit like everybody else a million times. So like that song has a natural ending. When it stops in the episode in season 5, when the portal just closes and Vecna appears, like he appears in his Henry form, I was like, interesting. So like that's really interesting because it did not come to a something stopped it. And they even show Lucas look over at the thing because the button just pushes up. You know how like back then you had to push the button down and then to stop it, you had to push it down and it pops up. The button pops up on its own though with no interference. So, and
he's like, what the fuck?
So maybe Vecna, maybe he's the one he has psychic powers. Maybe Vecna's the one who literally did that. But then the portal closes. She turns around. Henry's right there. He has one arm that he's starting to morph into Vecna mode. And he just starts walking menacingly like Michael Myers towards her. She runs away, runs through the forest. He's just still running. No, he's still walking, but he's still behind her at all times. So he's doing that typical Michael Myers thing.
The Jason thing, yeah.
Yup, the Jason Michael Myers thing. He's not running. She's running haul-assing. He's right behind her. And then she runs into this cave. And when she's like looking at him through the, she's hiding. She's not even really hiding. She's just in there. But she comes up to a dead end and he's looking in, but he won't go in. And like she can tell by the look in his eyes that he's blatantly afraid of it.
Yeah.
And that's what she explains to Holly.
He's scared of that cave for some reason and he can't go into the cave. And that becomes Max's home. And she just has been living there in this fucking cave because she can't, do anything. So
I want to tell you this, and this might make you upset a little bit. I found out that there is a play for Stranger Things that has been going on for the last couple of years since after season 4, and it is apparently canon. So it's like some Kingdom Hearts shit, but it's a canon play, and it focuses specifically on a prequel to Stranger Things that's all based around Vecna. Henry as a kid and how he got taken by the mind.
This is already annoying.
Yep. I found out today. I was not happy, but it literally talks about the cave and like him getting taken by the mind flayer and how it changed his biology, it changed his blood type, and it made him into what he comes back. Right. So when he comes back to, he's Vecna basically. Like when he comes back, he's not.
Bitch for a second.
I already said, like, I prefaced it with, I don't think this is going to make you happy.
Here's the thing. I understand that the production of a TV show is a lot of money, there's a lot of moving parts, etc. And so, they couldn't make that into a season or whatever. It wasn't in the budget. Whatever the case may be. Fine. I have no complaints. So you have this play that you put on Broadway or whatever. Okay, fine. The play's canon. Sure. In the 3 years between season 4 and season 5, you could have just put the play on Netflix.
Yes,
you could have just got a recording of the play.
Yep.
And just put it on Netflix.
Yep.
Like you could have just did that. And then I could have watched the play, and then I could have had information that apparently is canon that I now don't have. In the 3 fucking years, you couldn't put this play on Netflix?
Yep. I have no defense for it. I honestly hate it myself because you remember I'm consistent about this. I didn't like that Kingdom Hearts did that either. Because when I played Kingdom Hearts 3, I realized that I felt like I missed something.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Gary and other people or whoever else told me like, oh yeah, there's like all types of shit that happened that unless you played this mobile game or unless you did this extracurricular activity, you just wouldn't know what's going on here. And I just don't like that. I don't like that for anything. And I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm a fan of many things that have done this. And I never like, here's what I don't like. Let me say why I don't like it. Because just saying you don't like something is like, whatever, right? You put it in a different medium. So I'm watching your show, right? I'm watching Stranger Things on Netflix. That's how you watch. It's a TV show. You fucking put it in a play? That's not even the same media. Putting Kingdom Hearts is a video game, right? And it's a video game that's known to be mainly on like consoles, handhelds, things like that. Mobile games are distinctly different from that.
Yeah. I think the Kingdom Hearts thing was fine until then, like, because it was on a bunch of different, like the Game Boy and DS and PSP.
Yep.
And people were bitching about that, which
I thought it was fine too.
Yeah, some level of credit, but at the end of the day, I thought it was fine. It was like, these are all the games.
Yep.
They're all fucking great. They're all the story.
Yep.
The problem for me did come when it became a cell phone game, like a gotcha game that was like, yeah, there's a lot of negatives I can talk about with that, and that's not the point of this episode.
You literally have already. They can go listen to whatever Kingdom Hearts episode, or we brought up Kingdom Hearts years ago. But this exact same type of thing, we've aired it out. I just don't like when you completely change the medium, and in this case, it's more drastic than what Kingdom Hearts did. At least Kingdom Hearts is like, it's still a game, and it's on a different device. But I do think that there is a distinction between a mobile game. Even when I think about gaming, mobile games and other games are just like, they're compartmentalized differently to me.
No, they're very different things. They have completely different goals in a lot of ways.
They do, yeah. So a play and a TV show, for a play is crazy because plays, unless they are recorded, like Kenny said, and put on TV, you have to physically go to Broadway.
Yeah.
Where the fuck, like Kenny?
I also didn't know it existed. So I never even had an option to go see it if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's not like season 4 ended and it said, now go watch the play featuring Vecna. Like, that didn't happen. It wasn't like, by the way, at the end of season 4, like a fucking trailer just starts playing and it's like, here's the play.
I'm going to be annoyed because I really like this season so far.
Me too.
And I'm expecting within the next 4 episodes, because there's going to be 3 episodes on Christmas Day and then 1 final episode on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
I'm expecting within those episodes that I won't have any questions. Everything will be clear, etc. I'll be really annoyed if like there's still Vecna things I don't understand because I didn't go see some stupid fucking play.
So, and I might be wrong about this, but we can do our research after this episode. I think that you can find either the actual like play or something that completely explains everything about it on YouTube. Because when I was watching I think it was the new Rockstars video, I was watching something related to season 5 and it talked about the play and it said somebody said you can watch it or see something about it on YouTube or on something. So if I can find it, if we can find it, I'm 100% going to watch it before Christmas. Like 100%. I want to, however long it is, 2 hours, an hour and a half, whatever. I've seen, because when the new Rockstars video was showing like clips from it, it looked awesome. Like it's fucking like Broadway, right? It looked awesome. They have Vecna and like everything, and it's like a bunch of plot points, stuff like that. And obviously, I don't know all of it because I just heard it in a brief like video or whatever, where they just kind of glossed over like, hey, by the way, this is an illusion in the show that it's from the play though. And I was like, what? Because when I saw the Max was in his memory and it was in Henry's school. and it was like a play thing, and it said on the bottom of it Henry and it had his name. I didn't get anything from that. But apparently, apparently, if you've seen the play, that means something to you because that is taken directly, like that's a direct thing that happens in this fucking play. Annoying. So yeah, I knew that you wouldn't be happy about that. That's why I waited until an hour and a half to kind of bring it up. But because I knew I had it written down here. But yeah, that's just the thing. So like
he has it written down. Don't piss Kenny off too soon.
No, I literally do. Like I'm not even kidding.
Because he knows that he almost pissed me the fuck off the other day.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I almost fucking Rietsu crushed him. All right, like
yo. So the other day after we got done recording, I was like, so I don't know if you heard, but the finale for Stranger Things is going to be in theaters. And I said that. When I tell you Kenny's eyebrows, so in Kenny's base, his eyebrows are like kind of trolly, like they're kind of like he's always in like this kind of I'm ready to joke kind of mode. When I said that and didn't say anything else, like I said, I don't know if you heard, but Stranger Things, the finale is going to be in theaters. His eyebrows went into his glasses in a way that told me immediately that he was not fucking happy. Like they sunk in a way that like and he doesn't get mad often. So like when I saw that, I immediately was like, but it's also going to be on Netflix. And he was like, he was like, okay, because, and I was like, no, I already know. You were about to fucking lose it. You were like, you were so already about to rant and be fucking angry. You were so not happy when I was like that. That whole in theaters for the finale thing did not sit well immediately. Like frame one, I felt his energy shift. And I was like, but it's going to be on Netflix too. Like, it's not just there. That shit was so funny.
If this show that's been on Netflix for 30 years, all of a sudden it's like the last 2 hours of it, you have to go to the theaters to see it. Bro, I'm telling y'all right now, like, you guys wouldn't be getting good praises from me. I would do that last episode. I would do that podcast. I would not have seen it. I'm like, Frazier, we're still doing the podcast on it. And then he would have showed up and I would have been like, yeah, I haven't seen it. I didn't go to the theater. Like, fuck that. Like, I would have just been talking shit. But anyway, it is going to be on Netflix. But somehow, a day later, I'm still annoyed at kind of a similar thing anyway, because they made a play that I never got to see.
Yeah, this is not great. But that cave is where he became Vecna, apparently. So I'm annoyed as well because I had no context for that. I didn't know why he was afraid.
The other thing that's annoying is that, like, I was under the impression, and I don't fully understand the lore, and I have to rewatch maybe some of the seasons, whatever. But I was under the impression that, like, 11 turned him into Vecna or whatever, right? Because, like, they show 11, like, defeating him and sending him into the Upside Down and ripping a hole in reality, him becoming Vecna and all this other shit. So, I don't know. It's annoying that there's more lore and information or whatever that was just not marketed. Because it wasn't marketed at all. I don't know how the fuck anybody knew to go watch this play.
Me either.
Because it wasn't marketed at all. In the age of the internet, where I see things I don't want to see all the time. I learn about things. I've never typed Kai Cenat in my search bar in my fucking life. But like, I know he's the biggest streamer in the world.
Same.
I know like I know things about Kai Cenat that I've never wanted to know. Not that there's anything wrong with him. Like, I never looked for him. But I know things about him that I never wanted to know. How come nobody told me that fucking Stranger Things had a play that was plot relevant?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that as well. And I am going to like do my research and try to see this, not literally see the play physically, but like online if there's a good copy of it or something. Because I do want to see it. But I do remember, or at least I was told by a recap video, that all the kids were injected with like Henry's blood. And that's kind of how they were getting powers, basically. Like the doctor that she ends up
I think that is in season 4.
Yep.
I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like the kids are being injected. That's how they all were created, basically, is Henry's blood got put into them. But Henry's blood got like that. Like, how did it get like that? Is what the prequel play. How did Henry get like that? Henry wasn't born. Henry was not born able to control things with his mind. He was not born with a connection to the hive or the mind flayer or none of that. That happened in the cave. Literally, he was a normal fucking person until he went into that specific cave, and there was parts of the mind flayer in that cave that fucking went inside of him, changed his biology, changed his blood type, it did something to his mind, and then he came back and he was on all bullshit. He just came back to society, came back to school, and was just not Henry anymore. Like, he was just a different person, and he's been a different person ever since then. And then the doctor gets a hold of him and starts experimenting on him.
Yeah, because I know in season 4, they show his family life. They show him as a kid. They show kind of the starts of the curse and like weird shit happening to him. And then, the whole family dies and they go to like the psych ward and there's a guy there who like his eyes are fucking burned out of his head. Yep. There's all that shit. I don't remember the exact sequence of everything. And there was this really cool like mystery arc in season 4 where they're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and they go in the process of figuring out Henry and number one and Henry being connected and Vecna. Like, it's awesome the way that all comes together. But yeah, I don't know. So there's a play.
So just moving on from that, because I knew that was going to be a rough batch. Kind of get to like the final arc of this podcast and of this first 4 episodes. Throughout the season, also there have been these allusions to Will being very connected to Vecna. Mm-hmm. Will being very connected to the Hive, and even at points they show Demogorgon vision, which is weird because I don't think Demogorgons have eyes, but like he has Demogorgon vision multiple times throughout the season where the Demogorgon will be moving somewhere and you'll see will fucking seizure out, and you will see from the sight of the Demogorgon running towards something, and he'll be like, it's coming, or he'll say run, or he'll say, whatever. He'll just give some kind of thing to denote the Demogorgon is doing this right now, and I'm tapped in. I can tell what it's doing, and whenever it gets hurt, as in prior seasons, he feels it, he screams, he yells, he doesn't like when they burn it, he starts freaking out when they got hit by a car in this season, he starts freaking out, Joyce stands up to it, and when Joyce stands up to it, I was like, oh god, they're going to kill Joyce right here, but then the Demogorgon like essentially runs away, and at first it was like, oh, it ran away because we attacked it or whatever like that, but then Mike offers, do you ever wonder if you, who's connected to Vecna, who, you're part, you can feel the Hive, like clearly if we do certain things, you fucking freak out, bro. Do you ever wonder if maybe you have some say-so, like maybe it didn't attack your mom because you didn't want it to attack your mom?
Yeah,
because
like you had a little bit of control. Because like it would have just killed her, like it fucking killed the other mom. Well, not killed, but anyway.
But yeah, like but it tried to kill her
up too.
Yeah, like there's no reason, bro. We watched it when it descended on the military people. It just started ripping the shreds at like frame 1. It did not wait. Yeah. It did not give them grace. It just started attack. Well, I mean, they were shooting, but like it immediately
was running through the bullets. Whereas like in this situation, she's swinging an axe at it, and he's backing up, dodging the axe.
Right,
the Demogorgon,
which we never
he's just like backing up, dodging the axe, and he's like not just pressing forward and killing her.
Right,
and so it's like why? And then Mike's like, you probably had some influence over it. You didn't want it to attack your mom. You were having it back up.
Yep,
etc.
Then later on, there's another scene where she's outside having a cigarette secretly. Will comes out, her son, and he's like, I thought you quit or whatever. And she's like, I did. And she like, and then she's like, where's your jacket at? Like, it's cold out here. And he goes, I'm fine. And they just kind of gloss over it. I was like, that is not fine, because this motherfucker is very clearly baby Vecna. Like, have we forgotten the whole he likes it cold thing? Like when they had the boiling hot tub, and he was like, I'm not getting in that water. I love a hot shower. I love when I start seeing the steam. Your skin. You said what?
I said very bad for your skin.
No, I know it's not, but I love it.
It feels so good though.
I can stand under a hot shower for longer than you're supposed to, for sure, till my body starts to become soggy, and just literally let the water hit me in the back, and just my whole body just feels so nice with that steaming hot water just piercing my skin. But I know it's not good for you. Still don't stop doing it, because again, you only live once. I'm going to die like everybody else is going to die, and there's a point where I need to enjoy my life in some ways, and standing in the shower under hot water every once in a while is just one of the ways. But yeah,
I hate it because, this is a side note, I hate things that like I have to do. Like, for example, I hate going on number 2 because it's something that you have to do. You don't have a choice, and like I don't want to do it. It's a waste of time. And I hate like showers because they're time consuming, and like you have to take a shower, right? You can't
eventually
not take a shower.
You have to,
you have to take a shower. So I take a shower, and every time I take a shower, I go, I'm going to do this as fast as I can, because like I don't want to waste time. I got other stuff I want to do. I don't want to waste time in the shower. But then inevitably, most times, once you're in like the hot water, it's really hard to like get out of there quickly. You get comfortable in there, and then it becomes, I like it here. I don't want to get out of the shower.
I like it here. It's like, crazy.
It's going to be uncomfortable when I turn the shower off and go out there. Like, I like it here. Like, I'm good.
I do hate getting out of the shower, especially when it's wintertime.
Oh, it's awful.
It's awful, bro. It doesn't matter. It's weird, too. Your house could be heated. Your house could be like
you'll still be cold.
Freezing. freezing when you step out that bitch. I do not like that personally, but anyway. Yeah, so Will's just exuding signs of being able to do things with the hive, and he clearly stopped his mom from being slashed. Like, we just saw 2 parents get OD'd on in the previous episode, and all of a sudden a Demogorgon approaches Joyce, who's swinging an axe at it, and
we also watched when they tricked the one Demogorgon and they home aloned it, and they fucking had spikes flying into its chest, and they shot it with a shotgun, and they wrapped it in barbed wire, and they lit it on fire, and that motherfucker was still moving around like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, the durability of Demogorgons is actually quite impressive, and it always has been. It literally always has been. The Demogorgon is so durable. Like, the Demogorgon is One Piece character durable. It's fucking wild. Like, it can take so much, and nothing happens to it. So I'm impressed.
Nah, they're diesel. Yeah, they're fucked up.
They're scarily durable. There's a character more durable, way more durable, which is really concerning. But yeah, so Will is just doing all this shit throughout the season. He also has like a moment where he looks up at a playground or whatever, and he starts seeing like spiraling, and he hears kids, and that comes up a little later as well. And essentially, there's this whole mission where now 11 is allowed to go. You know, she was allowed to go with Hopper into the Upside Down. So they end up, she goes in separately, actually.
No, she does. She's not allowed in.
Yeah, she goes in separately.
They show up at the spot and some things happen, and then she ends up going in because like shit goes down. I forget the exact sequence, but she ends up going in, finding Hopper, and Hopper's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Right.
And then they're together, stuff's happening. They end up at the wall. They're trying to break through the wall. And then the military shows up. The military like uses the sonar gun to paralyze her. They have this whole thing. There's a shootout. He throws grenades. He shoots the thing that's stopping her. Yeah. She gets up, fucks them up. She picks up a fucking tank and slams it into a guy with her mind. And then they interrogate one of the soldiers to figure out what's going on. They learn about Dr. K, and then they find the main military base that they're using in the Upside Down. And they have this plan to break into this military base because the idea is she's going through the mind, all this other stuff. There's this door that she can't get into, and it's like, you're not allowed in this door. The guy's mind, he was able to resist her finding out what was behind that door, and she is like, the source of my kryptonite is in there. Like, the kryptonite thing is in there. I don't know what it is. I think like someone that's like me is in there. And as far as I understood, the theory that her and Hopper came up with was they have Vecna prisoner. They have Vecna behind this door, and they're keeping him prisoner with like this kryptonite or whatever. And Hopper says like, well, that I don't understand, if they have Vecna prisoner, like, how's he doing stuff? Like, how did he kidnap Holly?
Right.
And there was a couple things, like, on one end, I was thinking maybe, like, the military is using Vecna to do something else.
Right.
And then, like, kidnapped Holly through Vecna, and the military is doing something. Or maybe Vecna's slowly amassing his power again and getting stronger again through these kids in order so that he can break out of this prison. And then on top of that, there's the part where Max said, this is Vecna's prison, when they're in this spot. So there's all this other stuff. And so, yeah, they have this plan that they want to break into this place. And I was also like, hey, if they go in there and destroy 11's kryptonite, don't they just free Vecna? And then what's their plan after that?
Yeah. I was like,
what's next? What's part two? What's going to happen next?
Well, part two was strapped to his chest, but yes, I agree.
Yeah. At the time, I didn't know that.
No, we didn't know. We didn't know that part two was strapped to his chest, but you got your answer eventually.
I did get my answer.
Part two was strapped to his chest.
While they're in there, so they break in. I'll quickly go over. They break in.
Yep.
They're going through all this stuff. They find this guy. The scientists are trying to figure things out, throw him away, blah, blah, blah. He ends up getting shot up by his homies.
Yeah.
He's dead. So they find the door. Dr. K comes out. All this. They turn on the kryptonite.
Yeah.
And then there's a part where the like Vecna tentacle is like strangling Hopper, and they once again go into the hot and cold thing.
Yep.
They're like, she's like, the heat weakens him, and then like this tentacle gets weaker, and it's like strangling Hopper as Dr. K's talking her villain shit. And then she makes it cold again, and she's like, but they thrive in the cold.
Yep.
And then he gets all big again, and they have a whole thing going on.
They keep showing that too. Something is going to happen with the hot and cold thing, clearly leading up to the end. Like, clearly the Demogorgon didn't even go into the water when Holly and her mom were hiding in the water, like under the bath water or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Demogorgon like was looking over at the tub, but it did not reach in that fucking tub. And
no.
I don't. Somebody pointed out that there's no water in the Upside Down. If you ever look in the Upside Down, there's just no water. And when the guy peed on the fucking on the wall, it started like literally sizzling. So there's like this whole thing about water and cold things in general, even though piss is warm, but which actually makes sense because it doesn't like shit like that. But piss is warm. Anyway, there's this whole thing about like no water in the Upside Down, and you've never seen water in any season in the Upside Down. Every pool that they show in the Upside Down is empty. Like everything that would have water in it in the Upside Down is empty, which is like, okay, that's really dope. But the hot and cold thing, they keep showing that as like a point to drive home, even in this season. So I feel like that is good. Dr. K's speech almost seemed like she was telling us it thrives in the cold, but it hates the heat thing. Like that seemed like she was talking more to us than Hopper.
Also,
Hopper knows that.
I'm so curious what the military's goal is exactly, because I guess they view themselves as the good guys, as far as I understand. There's a part where the military starts rounding up these kids because they're trying to like allegedly protect them from whatever's happening, and they're rounding the kids up, and they're like, we got to go get the kids because Vecna's going to get them. And there's this whole thing that ends up happening with Dipship Derek and stuff we'll get into, whatever. But there's a part where Dr. K is like, we've been looking for 11 all this time. The day we find her, she shows up on camera, we see 11, these kids disappear and die. And then they're like, 11's killing kids. And I was like, I'm not really sure what's going on here.
Yeah,
but there's no actual way you guys think 11 is the one doing this. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Yeah, mind you.
So I'm curious where Dr. K is coming from. Part of me thinks she's the wife of the other guy or related to the guy that trained 11 to begin with. Because I don't know where the fuck she came from. Unless
I don't recall her in any other season.
But I feel like she has to be directly related to the original guy that trained 11. Maybe she's his wife or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she came out of nowhere to me as well. I hate her haircut, but it's the 80s, so, you know, haircuts are bad. I like the recap a lot. You basically covered literally everything, which is good because Lord knows we needed that, like, montage of things that happen. I kind of forgot some of the stuff. So yeah, she like 11 interrogates, she jumps over the thing. There's this whole thing about I'm gonna jump with the lightning. That happens. She breaks in the lab, puts the guy down. The guy gets shot up later by his comrades. She says I think one of the episodes ended with a cliffhanger where it was like, it's him, he's in there. So we're led to believe that the military has Henry specifically, that they have Vecna. And I was like, oh, that's such a, in my head, you know me, I was like, oh, that's such a government thing to do. To fucking find something.
I mean, dude, what's crazy is in season 3, that's what Russia did.
Yes.
Russia just had a Demogorgon that they were playing with.
Yes.
They were just had them in a coliseum and were having people fight them.
He really wasn't a coliseum specifically, though. Like, you're not even wrong with that description. But no, when I saw it, I was like, this is such a fucking military thing to do. This is such a government thing to do. To find the thing that could, like, end all life on Earth. And instead of, like, just getting rid of it, they study it and find out a way to try to utilize that power. I was like, that's exactly what we would do if we found something that powerful. We wouldn't just end it. We would absolutely try to use it. And so that's what they're doing. But I thought that it was Vecna, and I thought, similar to what you said, I want to touch on this. This is where I was getting to. You mentioned how you felt like it might have been Vecna trying to gather his strength back with the kids and all. And I was like, yeah, maybe he is in a coma-like state behind that door. They have him tied down. Maybe they have the sonar thing on him 24/7. But he's so powerful that maybe he can still do just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And slowly over time, he's just amassing power through his kids and doing other random shit.
And so that's what I was like, oh, Vecna is slowly using children as a battery of some sort that he's going to, like, I don't know, kill them maybe or do something with them that'll give him enough energy to break out, and then he'll be back to wreaking havoc. Yeah. But then it turns out the big, like, reveal is that Vecna actually just is not at all behind that fucking door that 11 was looking for. And in the meantime, you find that Hopper is strapped with explosives on his chest. So he's like, yo, 11, get out of here. You go back, like, just leave. Like, you go back home. I'm going to go, because you're telling me he's behind that door. So I'm going to go behind that door and do what I came here to do. Don't worry about me. Like, I'm good. And so he's basically on a suicide mission, literally. And 11 doesn't leave. Obviously, she just stays. And he goes to the door. And then he comes back. And now we get to see what's behind the door. At the same time, and this is what a Hunter I love, at the same time means so much to me. At the same time, the fucking kids, Joyce and everybody in the military are fighting against a bunch of Demogorgons who are coming to, like, get the kids. And Lucas and everybody is trying to get the kids out of the military base because they know like we need to get them from one, the military period, but also because if they're here, they're all in one place, and that's terrible. You can't just have.
And Vecna's going to get them.
Vecna's going to get them. So Demogorgons are ripping through military personnel. It's havoc. The scene is actually shot like Battle of the Bastards. You see like Will, Lucas, all of these guys, like, well, mainly Will, Mike, Lucas is helping the kids, so he's like underground. But you see Will, Mike, Joyce, all of those people, and they're kind of like in the middle of a gunfight against Demogorgons, flamethrowers, chaos. And as they're like ducking and running, there's fucking Demogorgon slashes a guy's head off over here. Demogorgon grabs a guy by the leg, slams him on some cartoon shit until he's a bloody pulp. Another Demogorgon jumps up on the fence and then jumps down and just rips a guy apart. And like this is happening, and it is shot. I love this. It's shot so well. Like you're basically POV from Mike's standpoint. You're Mike, and you're just running to try to get to the next cover, but around you is just mass murder. Like, it is chaos. And they keep showing the gate that the military has for the Upside Down. They keep showing it. And you see at one point, while Eleven is about to go see what's behind the door, you see a shadowy figure moving towards that gate from the other side. And my heart started to immediately, I get anxiety from TV shows. I don't know how they accomplish this, so because it's not real, but man, I watched it at probably like midnight, episode 4. So it was lights out in this room. Every light was cut off. I have a sound bar and I have a subwoofer and I have like a really big OLED TV. Everything's off except the TV. Everything is super loud. And it's Thanksgiving night. It's the night I got back home. It's Thanksgiving night. And I'm in my bed, and like when I see the shadowy figure, my palms start sweating because I'm like, that can't be. Like that can't, like, who could it? What could it be though? Yeah. And it keeps going back and forth, and they're doing this. Whoever directed that episode, kudos. That episode 4 of season 5 is amongst the best episodes of Stranger Things. Period. Because then you finally see it gets super quiet. Everybody's attention turns to the same thing. The Demogorgons are all fucked up. They're all down bad and shit. And then Vecna walks through the portal. And immediately all of the military personnel turn their guns to him, open fire, and they all start shooting him. And he just starts marching very slowly forward. And all of the bullets, all of the fucking weaponry, none of it is doing even a single thing. It's not impeding his walk. It's not doing any damage. Nothing on his body is falling off. Nothing is penetrating, it looks like. Literally, he's not even doing any psychic shit. No effect. It's not like Gojo. Nothing is happening. They're shooting him. Yeah. The bullets are connecting, and nothing literally is happening. And he's just walking forward. Then a guy walks up with a flamethrower. Like a guy runs up on him with a flamethrower, shoots the flamethrower, which we just saw him do to a Demogorgon. A Demogorgon started screaming and, writhing in pain. Runs up, shoots at Vecna with the flamethrower. Vecna does it, like literally. Vecna does a 180 look, like turn to him real quick, and it puts his hand up. The flamethrower gets force fielded, gets fucking force fielded, bro. And then after a while, it fucking goes towards the guy after it builds up a firewall, and it explodes on the fucking guy's body. The guy literally explodes. Then Vecna, the guys they start thinking about like using grenades. So Vecna lifts the fucking pins out of the grenades and like pulls the pins towards himself as like metallic weapons. Whole time the grenades they're about to go off. And the guys don't even realize it because they're too busy like fighting him. So they don't even realize that like, oh fuck, we're about to explode. And the entire scene, he grabs one of the guys that's about to explode and throws him into the crowd like Madara, and the fucking guy blows up.
The craziest scene to me, the most brutal, there was a lot of brutal shit. The most brutal part of all of it was there was a guy on the ground. Yep. And then when he puts his fucking tentacle, his spikes through his face, and it's like, but the way they show it is specifically the most brutal. Like the way it goes through his head, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you weren't ready for that because I wasn't. I was not ready for that. When he walked, because that guy wasn't doing anything. He was just like on the ground and crawling away, I guess, from his injuries. And Vecna walks over to him, and you see the guy's head as like, the guy's head is most of your screen, wherever you're watching it on, most of your screen is going to be covered by this guy's head. Mm-hmm. And then you see jutting through the head, Vecna's fucking spiky ass arm stretched out, and it just goes through his eyes, his mouth, his ears, and yeah, he just dies, and there's blood everywhere.
Insta dead, bro. Like ruined him. Brutal. Yeah, Vecna came out on all bullshit, and I was like, it was hype, but I was also confused because I was like, I thought he was regaining power. I thought he was trying to like do something, because he clearly has because here's the thing. From my perspective, he's clearly still not at full power. There's a reason why he's doing like this plan that he's doing. There's a reason why he's doing whatever it is he's doing, and he's not ready yet. And he comes out and he starts talking his shit, and he's like, Will, you were the one that made me realize that I could do this.
Yeah,
I took over you, and you were so easy to break. It's so easy to break children. I can manipulate them because I'm older than them, and it's really fun to manipulate children and put my tentacle in their mouth. And like he starts ranting at him, right?
Yeah.
And then he starts talking all that shit. He was like, Will, you were so easy to break. It was so easy to have my way with you and do what I wanted. And all that happens. He's talking his shit. He just murders all of these military guys that thought they were on shit. Dipshit Derek told them before they showed up. He was like, I saw your weapons. You're not going to do shit to those monsters. They're going to fuck you guys up. And Dipshit Derek was right. But yeah, so the whole Vecna thing happens. He shows up. He doesn't kill Will. I don't know if it's because maybe, I'm sure he's strong enough. Maybe he still has a plan for Will. I don't know.
I think he just has a plan for Will. I think it goes back to what you said, though. Will could be his host.
I think Will, he wants Will's body on some Sasuke shit. But Will's clearly getting stronger. It gets revealed that he has some powers in a little bit. He's able, like Mike said, he's able to take control of the Demogorgons because they go on all bullshit and they're about to attack and kill everybody. And Will's eyes roll in the back of his head and he's like, vroom, 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 and he fucking stops them all. And then he Vecna's curses them. He picks the Demogorgons up, and then their bodies start cracking in the way that he killed Chrissy with the Vecna curse, like with their arms going like crack, crack.
So
crack,
I have
crack,
to ask
crack.
you, when you saw that scene, right? So you see Mike is on the ground, Lucas is on the ground, and there's a Demogorgon approaching each of them. There's also a Demogorgon approaching Robin. I love Robin, by the way. She's one of my favorite characters.
She's awesome.
Robin's really, and she's also the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, which is, I love Uma Thurman from Kill Bill and just like Baywatch and stuff like that, but mainly from Kill Bill. So I was too young for Baywatch, but whatever. I didn't know that until like after I watched a full 4 episodes. I was like, oh shit, that's who she is. She does look like Uma Thurman. There's a Demogorgon with each of his best friends, basically. Because Robin and Will have had a very close relationship this season because she's been helping with his sexuality, basically. Like, she's a lesbian. He caught her doing lesbian shit, and he was trying to basically, in so many words, ask her, how do you know that it's okay to go after the same sex? Which is actually a question that, if, you know, obviously this is something that, if you're heterosexual, this has never been a part of your brain. But if you're a homosexual, like moi, one of the things that we do struggle with in life in general is just like, well, I like the same sex, but how do I know that the same sex likes me back? And so I thought it was cool that Will asked her, like, how did you know it was okay to go after the nurse girl or whatever? And Robin gave him encouraging words, not just for sexuality, but just for like life. Like, you know, here's how you know, basically, and like, here's how you basically find out who you are and things like that. She gave him this really good pep talk. And so there's a Demogorgon assigned to basically every one of his best friends. And I thought this was slightly convenient too. And what I mean by that is like Vecna definitely still gives me I have a master plan vibe, because he conveniently leaves. He drops Will. He doesn't kill him, even though, like you said, he absolutely could obviously kill Will at any moment. But he just drops him. And then he walks away and the portal closes up. And as soon as it closes up, he does like a Game of Thrones, the Night King type thing, where the Demogorgons that were defeated, they all resurrect and they're about to do their thing. One of them literally lunges at Mike, and Mike does the fetal position, like, I'm helpless, I'm just gonna curl up, but I'm dead. Like, I accept that I'm dead here. The thing, it lunges at Mike. Like, it literally it's midair lunging at Mike. And as it's midair, at that exact moment, there's a montage happening for Will, which I love the way they shot it. I love the direction of it. There's a montage of Robin's voice in his head, giving him the speech that she gave him earlier in the season. And also like his mother saying things to him when he was younger, his friends saying things to him. It's like everybody talking to him about how, you know, you're the sorcerer. The episode is called The Sorcerer, by the way. But it's called like, you're the sorcerer. Your power comes from within. You're a natural. You don't need a book to cast spells. You were just kind of born this way. You just have the power innately in you. Maybe you can control the hive mind. Maybe you have some say-so, all this other stuff, just all spiraling in his mind. And then like the scene goes black, and then when it reawakens, his eyes are white. And he just has like his hand raised, and the Demogorgon that was going to literally kill Mike, the one that was going to kill Mike, is in the air frozen, trying to get to Mike, but like shaking, but like clearly telekinetically frozen in the air. And then the other one that's about to slash Lucas is on the ground, and he's in the tunnel. He's on the ground and he's crawling backwards, and the Demogorgon is about to slash him. And then it puts his hand out, and the second it puts his hand out, Will raises his other arm. and that one freezes and it starts shaking like it's trying to get to him, but it can't telepathically or whatever. And then the one that's next to Robin goes this lunge at Robin, and that one stops as well. And so now 3 different Demogorgons in 3 completely different places are all frozen by Will's power. His eyes are whited out, and he's holding all of them. And then he fucking lifts the one that you can see that's in front of him into the air, like Kenny said, and he fucking Vecna curses fatalities it. It was so epic. My question, when you started seeing that, like, what was your reaction? Because I popped off, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to describe. I mean, I was like, oh shit,
yes.
Like it was just kind of like that. Like it was just like, shit.
That's a pop off. I popped off, bro.
Like I was just like, because like it was fucking cool because he's been building, he's had this connection, and it also makes sense because and then he gets the nosebleed, and it makes sense for him to get powers similar to 11 because he's been so closely connected to Vecna, and as we know, that's where 11 and a lot of these other kids got their powers from. Correct. They got it from number 1. So it makes sense that he eventually awakens these powers, and he's able to do it as well. So it was really cool to see him get that moment and to be really strong and to be something else in addition to 11, another one of their a new DPS that they have.
Yeah. And
so behind the door, really cool.
We got to talk about that too. But yeah, it was really cool.
Behind the door. We're going to get to that. Before that, I want to say, you might be wondering, where's Dustin, Steven, and Nancy at this time? At some point, while all this was going on, they drove the car into the Upside Down. And so they got into the Upside Down and they crashed into the wall. And they're like on the other side of the city in the Upside Down. And they're talking to Hopper. And Hopper's like, I'll come find you guys. And then they're about to do some shit in the Upside Down. They're down there. They're like, one of them's like, there's an end to the wall somewhere. And Dustin uses trigonometry to figure out, no, there's not. We are in a circle. Like, there is no end to the wall. We are inside the wall. We're completely enclosed. There is no end to the wall. And they use math to figure out that the center of the circle is where it all started, the Hawkins lab and like the power plant or whatever the fuck it was.
Yep.
And so they're about to do something too, but we don't get to see them do anything really at the end. But yeah, they figure some stuff out. They're about to do some shit. But what was crazy is they get behind the door. 11 so Hopper opens the door up, and then he just like walks and then like lets 11 in. It's like, what the fuck are we about to see? And we go in there, and I'm like, really like, man, what the fuck are we about to see? And it's this woman strapped up to this thing with all the stuff there. And immediately I was like, oh shit, is that her sister? Because in season 2, and I think it's one of the worst parts about season 2 at the time.
It is. It's actually complained about because they thought that everyone on the internet thought that plot point was completely discarded.
It was.
Okay.
Until now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was. Like, here's the thing. Credit where credit is due. They brought, and I alluded to this earlier when I said they brought the plot back together and they did things, blah, blah, blah.
You did. Yeah, that's what you were getting at. Yes.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. When season 2 happened, though, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Like,
I agree.
This shit, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And that part of season 2 always like kind of bothered me. There was a lot of stuff that annoyed me about it. It seemed completely unrelated to everything that was going to end up happening and all this other stuff. But her sister is there, there's shit with her sister, etc. So then she ends up finding her sister, and I was like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. Like, it was cool that they brought all that back together and tied it all back together. And that, because I don't fully remember, but I know in season 2 they were getting chased by like someone, military people or whatever, and her sister either got away or got caught at the end. I don't, but yeah, some shit was happening to her, and then she was gone, and we never saw her again, and she was never talked about again. And this whole time, 2 full
seasons passed after season 2, and like no mention or talk or anything about her. So I genuinely assumed, I was like, okay, like that character just never mattered. And then when they opened the door and she was fully strapped up by the military, because 11 throughout this season, when she realized that there's a psychic in the military base, she was like, someone is powerful like me. She's been constantly saying someone who's as powerful or more powerful or whatever, but she was alluding to the idea that someone really powerful, and that's when she thought it was Vecna. Turns out to be her sister, which I didn't even cross my mind that it could be her. Like,
no, neither, because that character didn't exist anymore. But as soon as I saw her, I immediately was like, oh shit, that's her sister.
Yeah, because she's tan. She's like tan skinned and everything. But yeah, so that's the big reveal. What I got from all of this is I think they're going to jump Vecna, obviously. I don't think this is like a hot take. I don't think this is like some special thought that I had that no one else had. But as soon as Will awakened, I'll call it. When Will awakened, I was like, oh shit, this is actually so bad for Vecna, because like Will now has powers, and Will is actually really strong. I think Will was, dare I say, stronger than 11, honestly, because while 11 is very powerful and she did beat original Henry or whatever, you can clearly tell that since then she's never like tapped into that level of whatever it was, she could send you into another dimension and all that.
Yeah.
She hasn't really exuded anything that shows that she's that powerful where she can do like, I'm controlling 3 Demogorgons in 3 different locations at the same time and I'm going to Vecna curse them. What Will did in that last scene, I was like, what the fuck? That level of power, and he did it with just a nosebleed. Here's what I was expecting. I was expecting Will to do that and then collapse. And the episode ends with him collapsing on the ground. The fact that he did some cool ass, like, he wiped his nose like really slowly and just like exhaled. I was like, oh, so he's not even exhausted. He's not even like
he was like, I'm still that guy.
Yeah.
I think 11 is still really strong. Like she's like Gohan, right? She's gonna have like her Gohan moment.
I think so too, yeah.
Where she like gets like how Gohan doesn't really tap into his power until he's the most angry being in existence. Something's gonna happen where 11's gonna fucking snap and she's gonna go Gohan mode and
for sure. Well, Will's probably gonna die, is my guess. But I do think, or Mike, one of them has to, Will or Mike or both, but definitely.
You know what's funny is that if Mike dies, that's a Super Saiyan moment for both 11 and Will.
It is. Because they both in love with him in a way. Like, well, Mike is in love with 11, and now they said that, the joke's on the internet, they said that Will became 11 because Mike likes people are so fucked up, man. But I was like, I guess, like, you know, Mike definitely does, like, he's into the whole superhero thing. So
yeah, now
Will is also super. But yeah, Will's power that he exuded in this scene is more powerful than anything I've seen 11 do. And I was like, that is quite ridiculous. To specifically that I'm not even near these other Demogorgons, and I am straight up.
Yeah. The one near Robin, like the one near Lucas was underground, but still kind of near. The one near Robin was like miles away.
Bro, they drove a truck
miles
somewhere.
Yeah, they were driving.
Yeah, like that shit was nowhere near. And again, you know how powerful Demogorgons are. I mean, they spent the entire season reestablishing how powerful Demogorgons are. So like, yeah, the whole thing, him breaking all of its bones and then dropping it to the ground like a fucking ragdoll like that, I was like, oh no, he's ridiculous. And so, okay, back to my point. I think that they're going to jump Vecna, obviously. It's going to be 8. That's the sister's name. She's 8. Elle is 11. And not Mike. And Will is just Will. And some people are saying that Will is number 1 because he's Henry's number 1. Literally, like Henry even said so. Like, you were my first. He's also like, and you know, he's basically number 1. And then people were saying, oh, it's perfect. 11 plus 8 plus 1 is 20. And in D&D, a 20, like those 3 characters who all have psychic powers now, they all have telekinesis. They all have this, like, well, the 8 can do like illusions and shit. She's real broken. But 11 plus 8 plus 1 is 20. And in D&D, if you don't know, if you roll a 20, that is the best possible outcome that you could do. And it's like, whatever crazy thing you need to happen, if you need a character to resurrect from a fucking mortal wound or something like that in D&D, if you roll a 20, a natural 20, like that character's getting back up. Like your character could have gotten their fucking head blown off. If you have a mage who has a spell, that character can resurrect that. She can do Inoue powers from Bleach and just like, it didn't happen if you roll a 20. So like a 20 is really, really powerful in in D&D. And
that's funny though, is that even though you misspoke, in D&D, there's a term called DC, which I think stands for difficulty class, or the C might mean something else, but basically, or difficulty check, I forget exactly. But basically, if something's like a DC 15, you have to roll better than 15 to beat it.
Oh, wow.
So it's even though it was a misspeak, it actually was still relevant.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, I love the internet. They also, when Game of Thrones was airing, spoilers for Game of Thrones again, but the J plus L equals or L plus J equals R or something. I forget how it, or whatever. Lyanna plus Rhaegar, L plus R equals J. That's what I think it was. L plus R. Yeah, Lyanna Stark plus Rhaegar Targaryen equals Jon Snow. So the internet will keep posting that everywhere, like, you know, L plus R equals J, and then people are now posting 11 plus 8 plus 1 equals 20, and it's like, okay. And they also had the scene where they rolled an 11 against Vecna, and it wasn't enough to beat Vecna with just an 11, but now you have 8, so they at least have 19 right now against Vecna, which is like, that's already really fucking good. If a DC happened that was like 18, well, we got 19.
Yeah.
So I'm loving this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super interesting. I love all the D&D stuff. The show in general is really cool. I do want to rewatch. I don't know if I have time to.
Same.
But I do want to rewatch the other seasons just to do it.
We need to watch the play first. I think we should prioritize trying to find the play and then see that. I think that's the most important thing because we did at least see the other seasons, even though we don't remember them that well.
Yeah.
The play, like we just don't know. We just don't know. We're in the dark.
Me, though.
We are in the dark.
Part of me, I'm hoping that I hope they just, I don't know. The play annoys me.
I just don't like that there's already something that, like with the cave.
I moved on from the play. You didn't have to bring it back up.
I'm sorry.
You just didn't have to, you know what I mean? Like, I moved on from it. You just didn't have to fuck that play, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I need to see the play. I need to see either a breakdown or literally watch the play itself because that's just not going to sit right with me. That it is canon. The Duffer Brothers, the creators of Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers did confirm that play is canon. And that is just, that's annoying. It's just annoying. So...
yeah, it's pretty dumb.
It's called The First Shadow. Stranger Things, The First Shadow, which is how Vecna came to be. So there you go.
There you go.
Meet Henry Creel. That's his name. And his name is Henry Creel. And this is theatrical experience is not normal. Secure your tickets today to see Stranger Things, The First Shadow. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, it's a real thing. I'm on YouTube right now and just trying to see. And there's like, this video is the origin of Vecna, like his biggest fear and all this other, The First Shadow West End trailer, which came out years ago. I
do wonder though if like things from maybe not the entire play, but I do wonder if like things from that play will show up in the second part of the season anyway. Like it'll just be like
like the story. Right, like they just give it to you in their own. Because I imagine, right, they will have to explain. Not everybody's seen the play. Not everyone is going to see the play. So I imagine that they're going to do an explanation, even though it may be brief, of why Vecna was afraid of that cave and like what it meant and all that type of shit. Like,
they're not going to end the season without ever explaining the cave in the show. Like if they do, you guys will be hearing a very different review. And I think regardless of whether or not I see the play, right? Maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't. Who knows? Regardless of whether or not I see it, let's say I watch the play. That still doesn't change the fact that, in my opinion, because you talked about the cave in the show, so people that haven't seen when I watch the next part of the season, like that cave has to get explained. It has to in the show.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I have no argument against that whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, this first 4 episodes were absolutely crack. I liked all 4. Like there was not a point where it was lacking. For episode 1, The Crawl, I thought that episode 1 was going to be like, once I saw that they were back to normal, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be a lot of like setup and.
Yeah.
Just like
there was a bit of setup. Like I was a little sour. Like I was like, I don't care about like when the bullies were bullying.
The bully part was the worst.
I was like, bro, I don't care about this bullshit right now. Like we're so far past this.
I agree.
Luckily, it didn't last that long. Overall, episode 1 was great, and episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all good. There was not a bad episode this season so far.
Yep, no bad episodes.
It was enjoyable. So
and for what it's worth, for people who are like, I need action. I mean, every episode, the Demogorgon strikes in episode 1, and it's just constant like nonsense. All 4 episodes: the kidnapping of Holly, the parents' house getting ransacked, all the shit in the Upside Down with the military, and then finally it all climaxes when Vecna makes an appearance, and then Will awakens. And he's ridiculously powerful, and like that, the last shot is just Will.
There's one other thing that we haven't mentioned that needs to be explained, in my opinion. At the very start of episode 1, when they're showing the training arc of Ellie, you don't know it's training at first. You see Ellie running through the woods, and then it's also accompanying a shot of military people running through the woods chasing Ellie. So when you see this at first, it's the military chasing Ellie, and she's trying to get away from them. And you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
what's going on?
Yes.
And then it gets revealed. They like knock her down. They shoot her. They go over and you're like, holy shit, Ellie's on the ground. The military walks up to her and it's a fake out. It was someone else. And then you see Ellie and she actually wasn't running from the military. She was running a training course. She was training with Hopper and Will's mom. So here's the thing, though. That woman that the military was chasing was dressed pretty much exactly like Ellie. And when they saw her and they rolled her over, the one guy says it's just another burnout. And I don't fully know what that means. And they were like, whatever, like deal with her, get rid of her. And so my thing is, A, why was she dressed so similar to Ellie at that time? And B, what does that mean? It's just another burnout. And C, like, why was she running from the military? And why was the military, even though the military thought that was 11? My point is, I feel like that's relevant. I don't know exactly what the fuck was going on there. I
forgot about that plot point.
But like, that is relevant. And I feel like that needs to get explained because what did they mean it's just another burnout? Why was she running? I understand they thought that was 11, but why was she running from the military? Was she working with 11?
If you think I'm somebody else, I would just tell you I'm not. Whoever you think I am, I'm not.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what was going on there. That needs to get explained at some point. I forgot about that until right now.
Okay, so we can read off our Patreon names. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I'm going to start off with Siri Transfer Kenny 50K, Spaceships Go Pew Pew Pew, Xavier Swift, This Ain't God, This is Stanley Earl, Hanging with Epstein, Just Play Pretty Ass, Just Another Pretty Ass Nigga, Japan. Oh, wow. Just another pretty ass thing. I didn't realize that's an acronym. Okay. Henri Reynolds, Red Vines, The Pies Came Out. The Pies Came Out is great.
Pies came out, bro.
The Pies Came Out. Vince, Dallas Bailey, KJ, Sizzle 43, Sarah Maria, Alex Ahern. Two of them kissing and hugging on stage. I love them to death, and in 8 bars, I'll explain that phrase. Edison Club, Big Bora, Grok, Sugal, Vicky Venemont, Elijah Barfall, Tal Today, Volvi the Mega Monarch, Frazier and Kenny. No, I'm a selfish peacock. The straw hat is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. So that's
y'all are not going to do the entire song in these goddamn names.
I know, right? Like Janitor 215, Meat in Hand. Meat in Hand, Joshua Carroll, Eric Chai, Wayne Bangui, Neil Rigas, Kenny's older cousin Big Dick Stango not Kenny, Stango's Glaze Smooth Butt, Real Nika, Jonathan Rodriguez, Mamizuku Ride, Rodnak, Kenny, I got 50K for you, dog, Hershey Bar, Impoister, Tyler Frasher, Sasha Egger, Daniel Anderson, Deroa, Asta Mattress Sleeping is Goated, Jordan Eastman, Robert Light, Clanger, Sushant, Fontina Andrea, HG19, Gregory Comring, Charles Duran, Limp Biscuit, Stango, Mike and John, Rich Silverberg, Santi, Froggo, Anthony Japov, Michael Zhang, Stango, Tyler, Kenny, you are up.
Gerbs, Brandon Crank, Chris Louie, Joshua Johnson, Luis Juarez, Julian Weidman, The Hopeless One, Stango, Ian Baylor, Choo Choo Train, Raj, Chris Kemp, Vengeful Servant, Awareness Please, Hunter Farhat, Trace Kerminga, Dark Void, TG, Pearson Boyer, Urlioke, Sampu, Daniel Brando, Juan Sebastian Brezenda, Jackson Conrad, Shrabster, Chris Flores, Oliver Beer, Smiley Face, Justin Herman, Chess Prime, Connor Ketchum, Stango, Mass 22, Carl Waite, Idris Hosni, Chris Johnston, Garrett Hernandez, Chris Hurriet, Jaytronic, Ryan Marple, Andre McGee, Ronnie Deo, Nick Marvin, Aziz Yamni, Esteban Fuentes, Franco Rugini, Darius Glasgow, Drazzer, Khalid, Teddy Tran, Ash, and Creating Chaos.
Again, thank you guys so much for your support. As I always say, do the things that make you happy, including enjoying the first arc of Stranger Things final season. This is actually a really, really good show. If you listen to this podcast and you have not watched Stranger Things ever, but you just love listening to our podcast, I know some of you are like that. I think that this is a show worth watching. Yes, seasons 2 and 3, there's parts in them that are a little shaky, a little rocky. I do think it is overall worth it to get to this point.
And there was parts of season 2 and 3 that were good.
Yes.
Like, there was things in season 2 and in season 3 that I did enjoy. It's just that overall, I didn't like the trajectory of where some things were going.
Yeah, like if it kept going like that.
There's good in both of those seasons, for sure. And then, it upswings.
It just upswings really well. So, with that being said, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
All right.
Are you going to give them your ending line?
Oh, dude, I have to take a piss so bad. So long, Gay Bowser.
So long.